I'm the 30, made the 40s. I'm a walking script, record me. It's the 30 and the 40. Switch, make it hit fast as hell. Bitch told me she pray for me, told her pray for Brody, them in the cell. I don't got no stylist, morning shoes and pants, I'm fresh as hell.
Yeah. It's only us. BlkPrint. New episode. J5 here. Josh fixing his headphones here.
Yeah, Josh P's in the building. Josh P's, aka 212P. That was the bus I used to take. It just made me think the whole Little Baby album was about like humble beginnings, and then like records about Jada. So,
and distant academics. We're gonna talk about that album later on B-sides. So subscribe to the Patreon. MC, my man MC here. What's going on?
I'm so happy right now. For those that cannot see this from a visual perspective, our visuals that we have right now between J5 and Josh P, they're just as executive as we have ever looked in the past 9-10 months.
Of course, and they're only going to get better. We said this back at the beginning of the year. The setup's going to change.
Yeah, we figured it out, man. We figured it out. So
we're figuring it out,
yeah.
And we're going to have, like, it's going to be different next time we do it. But yeah, right now, if you can't see it, on Patreon, you can't see it. We do video, of course. If you just $5 down, you'll be able to see all of this content.
Yeah.
Join our tiers, all of our different tiers. A lot of
family,
people,
man.
Yeah, a lot of people didn't forget about the t-shirts either, Josh. So I'm just want to let you know.
Yeah, I mean, t-shirts coming soon.
They did not forget about the t-shirts.
Check out these dynamic mics, though.
On behalf of our patrons, and especially our new patrons for the month of September, welcome to the family, of course.
Yeah, who you got the list of those?
Pull those up right now.
We'll get to you guys.
Very big shout outs to our family.
We'll get to y'all by the end of the episode. We sponsored. Can we show the labels of the stuff that we drink?
Well, it's funny. I turned my water around. Poland Spring got me. Yachty, you need to go get a bag, bro. Because I was literally at the store grabbing water, and I went for the Evian. I was like, oh, Poland Spring. Took the walk to Poland. Let me just get this real quick. So, but I turned the label around. So,
shout out Liquid Death.
Yeah, shout out what's this wine company called? Free Your Body.
Is that pause worthy, Josh?
Wonderwork. It's called Free Your Body. No, it's not pause worthy at all.
Josh Squeeze got a very good reaction.
I'll be free in bodies. It's real shit.
But yes, we are here back again. Thank you guys for joining us on AMP the other week, last week with Henny. That was our most loquacious episode.
Yeah, that was a great one though, man. Shout out
sure.
to Henny, man. He came through and he
took over.
Yeah, nah. It's like Bron, game 6.
He took over the.
But he really just. I like his story because it's very much a story of a lot of people in the music industry. Like, you kind of started off rapping, then you kind of went into the management. Now you're, like our promoter, the management. Like, I think that's just like a path that a lot of people take, and a lot of people don't hear about it often. So I'm glad he told that story. Shout out to him. You can listen to that at the end of this podcast. That's a really good conversation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Our monologue.
Talked about, just really the DC, Maryland, Virginia scene. Obviously, I went to school in that area. I remember some of those parties. I didn't get a chance to say it, but like I remember going to some
I'm
shit.
like, bro, I knew of Henny from the promoter stuff before I really knew about when I met him on the management tip, I was like, oh yeah, I do remember coming through DC and you being that guy. Like I remember that much. So no, I'm glad he touched on that because that's an important part of hip hop,
right?
And people really don't speak to that a lot. Like these promoters and these agents, these are the guys who really kind of help hip hop make their money.
And I feel like some promoters get like a bad rap because of just like the janky shit.
Janky promoters, there's a
Modesto.
lot of.
Have you ever been to Modesto?
I've passed through. I've never. There's no reason to go to Modesto.
Well, I wonder, was that movie actually filmed in Modesto?
I don't think so. No,
right?
Hell no.
Like they had to do it in probably Rancho Cucamonga.
That's funny though. Like the whole Des and like Desto Dub.
Yeah,
like, that's all based on Janky Promoters, the movie.
No way.
Yeah, Modesto. Like they.
I thought that. Well, I had thought I was like, damn. When I first started listening to Overdose and that whole crew, I was like, that can't be Modesto from Janky Promoters. I thought it was just like a slang.
Nah, that's all. They kind of built the slang off of that movie.
That's funny as hell, yo. That's so fucking funny. Shout out to them. But yeah, our episode with Henny, you'll be able to hear right after this if you're listening on our public free episode. But on Patreon, you guys have heard it days ago.
Yeah.
And you should have been there. You know what I'm saying? Because
tap in live.
Yeah, like you should have been there. And our AMP show is one of the most lit shows on AMP radio, next to Nikki, of course, and all the other. I think we're probably like number 3. Yeah, I'm cool with 3. I'm cool with 3 for now.
I'm high up. I don't know, Nikki. What's up?
Hey, I'm deleting that shit.
Nah, shout out to Nikki though. I love what she's doing right now with the
What
Queen
is she?
Radio platform.
Oh, I was about to say, what is she doing? What else other than Amp?
I mean, no, I think she got Super Freaky Girls going crazy.
It is going crazy. I'm saying like that. I thought you meant like,
you meant like a beat?
killing off everybody. In the world
You know,
right
she's just doing what she got to do. It's the queendom, man. Bow down.
One thing I never knew about Josh is that he was a
I'm
low-key
a barb.
barb.
Oh man, I got a barb shirt. I can't wait to bust this shit. It's from the Young Money reunion show. I bought the merch.
From the OVO?
Yeah, I bought the Barbie one.
Bro, I got my like father like son shirt, right?
Yeah, I got it. I wore mine. It's just nice.
What size did you get?
I got an XL.
I got a medium.
No.
And that shit fit like a small.
Yeah, well, I knew the sizing was gonna be janky. It's like I don't know.
I can't even wear that shirt.
Yeah.
It basically is a halter top. I gotta give it away.
It's a great shirt though.
It is a great shirt. I might wear it one time.
Great shirt.
But you probably got to put a shirt over it so you can't see how young it is on me. That shit young as hell on me.
Yeah, I already wore that shit.
It's a nice shirt. But Amp Radio.
Shout out to the Barbs.
Well, our next episode is going to be a Blacklist episode. You guys liked the Guilty Pleasure one so much.
What day is that episode?
It's going to be on the 27th, I believe,
okay.
Mark.
It will be October 26th.
26th.
Wednesday, October 26th.
26th.
Our debut of a brand new show on AMP.
Yes.
Blacklist.
So I'm actually not going to be in the state. I'm going to be in Atlanta. So for the first time, we're going to be doing the show outside of, just not in the same studio. But we're going to do a Blacklist episode. Spooky songs.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting.
And I'm trying not to get all 3 6 Mafia songs.
Yeah, no, I got some shit. I got some spooky
Some scary songs.
Hopefully Amp got these motherfuckers, man.
I hope so. Right?
That's
yeah.
gonna be the most important thing.
Yeah,
man.
like if Amp, we got to check that in before we do that. But Amp also has a chat section too.
Yeah.
So when you get in our show next Wednesday, get in the chat. Let's talk. We're trying to talk, man, for sure. The chat was definitely mostly me and Mark lit. Shout out. Actually, it was who else was in there?
Wayno was in there.
Wayno was in there. Shout out to him. My homeboy who
Don was in there.
Don, yeah, he was in there. He was in there like really talking. So next time we do this, make sure you guys are chatting it up. We had a good time the other week. So, how was your week, Josh?
My week was good, man. My weeks have been busy. Every time someone asks me how your week been, I'm like, I've been working, man.
You're always busy.
I'm always busy. I'm always working. Shout out to that though. It's a blessing. What have I been doing this week, man? I've been watching some TV. Really just trying to relax, man. Really trying to get my mental right.
You got a big trip coming up.
Yeah, got a few big weeks ahead of me.
Yeah.
Period. Just a couple trips and just a lot going on. So
how do you prepare for this big trip you got going? Well, you already said where you were going.
Yeah, I'm going to Paris. How do I prepare? I just try to get my rest. I've really just been like packing mentally.
Okay.
I'm a master packer. I get this shit done. I'm actually about to buy some new luggage. But I'm just I've been like getting my fits together in my mind.
Yeah.
It's funny you mentioned the Young Money shit because I got one of them shirts I might wear out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been like mentally getting my fits together,
crazy.
Just figuring it out, seeing what I'm gonna wear. I got some shit. I've been buying a lot of shit and not wearing, so I'm like, man.
That's me too.
Yeah.
That's my number one thing. Like even getting ready to go to somewhere like Atlanta, I'm like, what the fuck am I gonna wear? I'm gonna be on this panel speaking.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to wear the most like.
You gotta put that shit on.
Oh,
You better
exactly.
get you some Christian Dior.
I gotta wear something audacious on that shit.
You gotta wear some Marnie.
I gotta find something to wear like that's gonna be like. Oh, I might borrow your sweater that you had.
Oh yeah, I got some shit. It's funny. I'm just looking at these boots.
What?
They got these like shearling boots. They look like some furry.
They look like fur. Yeah.
Yeah, those shits look crazy, bro.
Oh, let me see these.
If you come in here in some furry boots,
I'm about to get
the furry
Damn, you
brunch
know
boots.
what? Honestly, when this come out, because I don't like talking about this. Actually, we're gonna have to cut this part.
you want to censor it? You want to gatekeep the boots?
Yeah, I do. Because niggas pull up with the boots.
Ain't nobody wearing them fucking boots, man. These boots are. You already know what these boots represent.
Niggas pull up with these boots, I'm gonna be hot.
Josh,
oh, God.
Come on, bro.
If I see any nigga with these boots on besides me, I'm gonna be hot.
Josh, no. Do they even make these in your size?
Yeah, I already seen them. So I was gonna buy them online, but I like to like try shit on first. So I'm gonna go to the store and check them out.
Jesus Christ, I'm not wearing those.
I don't want nobody to go to the store before me. I ain't going before this episode out. See how niggas slow up.
I can't pull out anything of that fashion. I wear a size 12. I can't get nice with boots.
I wear 12 too. I got a couple pair of boots. I rarely ever wear them, but let's get this happening.
I think the thing is,
but these I'm gonna wear. I'm gonna throw these on with like basketball shorts.
Picture, please.
Wait,
Yeah, I'm gonna
Picture, please.
They look like some damn near some Uggs, but like
They
like
look
a little
like
bit
the
of a platform.
the old Rick Owens type shits with the heel on the joints. How you even find this?
I don't even know, man. But I seen them with some pants. I was like, oh, I'm about to get this in the pants. Hey, online shopping be getting you sometimes. I'm like, hey, shout out to the online shopping stylists. The girls who be styling that, dudes, whoever be styling like the sites. Y'all be getting me sometimes. Sometimes that shit be trash, but sometimes I see a fit. I'm like, oh, that lower body, I gotta recreate. That
how do you feel about those what's on the celeb accounts?
I love those
Instagram?
accounts.
They're
Those shits are
good.
funny. I just think they're just. I don't know. Like
How the fuck did you know that was a polo shirt? Like I don't even see the logo on the
yeah,
shit.
they be getting it. Yeah, they be killing it.
I think that stylist was sending it in like, no, I
Oh,
put this on
absolutely.
him,
Yeah,
for sure.
people be kind of like, that's what the brands and the PR and all them. That's just a whole racket. So
Yeah,
again,
like. But speaking of online shopping, I was talking about this yesterday with you guys. StockX is going crazy right now.
oh man, yeah.
StockX is
Everything. I think it's like very intentional. I think StockX is about to go out of business, and right now they're like everything is below retail.
like.
are you calling that right now?
I'm just saying, like the resale game is like the
it's
brands
cratered.
are smarting up. The brands are smarting up, and then there's so much product coming out. Like the customers just like, I don't want to buy this shit no more.
Yeah.
So it's like I think the market's about to kind of
How many
topple
people,
over.
like for real, both of y'all, how many people do y'all see in new shoes?
People like wearing old shoes first of all.
Exactly.
And then I walked down Fairfax the other day. It's like 17 resale shops on Fairfax.
Yes.
Just from Rosewood to Oakwood.
Yeah.
It's like 17 resale shoe shops.
Yeah.
I'm like, what the fuck is going on? Like,
And then even more 2 streets down.
yeah, then you go to it's like I don't get I don't get it. And then they all like, and then even when I'm just out shopping in general, like I see like these shoe stores that just have all like Dunks and Jordan 1s.
Yeah, that Jordan 1s that just came, like the Brotherhood ones over there, the purple and yellow ones that have come out 18 times. They're just chilling. They're just sitting. And I got those below retail. I got those for $140. They came out $170.
Yeah,
Like flat.
Yeah,
Like,
so back to StockX. Everything's below retail on StockX
Everything.
right now. Just gave y'all, don't go buy the Leve boots. Go buy something off of StockX. Everything's below
I'm
retail.
telling you, those taxis, I think people overestimated those. Those shits are sitting. I think what else did I get off those? The Union 2s are really like the
I'm
major.
mad. I paid
major
retail for those.
twice.
Yeah.
You got both pairs. So I ended up getting one of the pairs of the Union 2s, and I gave Pat my other friends and family one. And then I go in there the other day. Them shits are like $160.
Crazy.
I said, fuck yeah, I'm buying these shits. Hell
like,
yeah.
I'm like, I don't want to buy another pair, but
Might as well, bro.
I be wearing them shits for real.
I feel like I'm gonna try and get those Air Force One West Indies too. I'm pretty sure those are below retail as well.
I got 2 pairs of those already.
Yeah, for sure. I'm about to get those. But I was trying to tell y'all, man, go to StockX. It's real up there right now.
Yeah, tap in. I'm about to get the Susie mids, the woven joints.
Is shopping part of your Paris itinerary, Josh?
Out there? Last time I went to Paris,
It's tax free.
Yeah, so I might like do the luxury shit because it's just like, but I'm not that pressed on the shopping shit.
We got the best because when I went to Barcelona, they didn't have men's stores. It was all women's stores.
I'm gonna go check it out though. We'll see. Like for me, it's like
Also,
I just want to eat good.
By the way,
Yeah, that definitely
conversation.
needed one.
Yeah, this whole
That for
conversation.
Yeah, I just want to eat good, man. Shout out to Ben Hundreds. He sent me like a great list of restaurants last time I went out there.
He's got a great show.
He said he has an updated one, so I'm like, let me tap in.
Yeah, he's got a great show. I believe it's on Tastemade.
Yeah, Big Appetite.
Yeah, it's a really
Shout out
good
to
show.
Him, Miles. Family Style just passed.
I didn't.
We
get
didn't
to
talk
go.
about that here. Yeah, Hey, Family Style, my favorite festival ever. I just love it, man. Like I just love the intersection of food and streetwear and clothing and hip hop and just culture. It's just really dope. Dope, just group of people that just come out. It's good vibes.
I
Like,
love where it's at. It's like right in the
CBS
lot.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool. Like you can park at the Grove. You can park on the street. Like I like that. It's just a good vibe, bro. That's like literally my favorite food festival. And like this year, Karis hit the Moza collab. That shit was massive.
Yeah, I saw the pictures.
The clothing was crazy. The rollout was crazy. Nancy Silverton and fucking Anwar Carrots. That shit's just out of this world. And then just the menu, the food they had. They had a grilled a patty melt, a tuna melt.
Wow.
And then a carrot cupcake. This shit was so fucking
Are those the
good.
same ones from
not
last
from
time?
not from last year. So last year he did it with
Yeah.
This year he did it with Moza. And
Okay.
these shits were out of this world.
I'm mad.
And then man, it was just dope. Like it was, who else had some shit out there that was dope? I had fucking John and Vinny's did a Dickies collab, and then they did a barbecue chicken pizza.
Ooh.
Off the hook. Trophies was out there, which is like now moving up the rankings of my favorite burger spot. That might be my favorite.
Where's
burger.
Trophies at? I need to go.
Trophies
there.
is on Fairfax next to Flight Club.
Did they replace
Shout out to
Golden State?
Gio. No, they replaced a place called Val Burger. I never have been before.
I never been
I
there
think it's
either.
the vegan place.
Yeah.
Sayonara. Shout out to my dude Gio, making a great burger. He's worked at a couple different burger spots in Los Angeles. He finally has his own spot.
Yeah.
I love it, man. It's just a really good fucking burger.
We gotta get Ben on here.
Yeah,
talk
we do.
Food.
Yeah, we gotta get him on the AMP episode.
Yeah, one of my favorite people. But like working with Ben was just a joy. Like he was just a hilarious dude. Like always had something funny to say. I was mad I wasn't able to go to Family Style because I actually had to go to a movie festival last weekend.
Oh shit!
And I was just seeing movies all last week. So it was.
Was it horror movies?
Yeah, it was all horror movies.
Horror movie fest.
Yeah, come on, man. Beyond Fest.
That's the thing. Do you be staying up throughout the whole thing? You don't be falling asleep?
No.
I guess because I'll be smoking and drinking. Like, I don't know. I
You
can't.
fell asleep at WrestleMania.
Loud
ass
WrestleMania.
WrestleMania.
did?
Shit was a little boring.
You did?
Yeah. I felt a quick little.
When did he fall asleep?
Who fight was
like
it? It was
twice.
it was one time. I know it was the girls fighting,
Not Bianca
which was
Becky.
actually a good fight. Yeah,
There's
I was.
no
kinda,
way you fell asleep during Bianca.
But you had
No
smoked
way.
so much
Yeah.
before that, though.
It was just a good little fight, and I'm like it's just, I don't know. I fell asleep at the Rams
finesse-
game once.
The finesse we had to do to smoke in Dallas was insane. That win was like none other.
Man, shit was crazy. Shout out to Dallas though.
But yeah, no, I stayed up for most of us. I saw Halloween Ends, the premiere. It was like the actual premiere of the new Halloween Ends. So like that was pretty cool. And it was cool because I've always seen these.
How many consecutive
three.
hours is that though? I'm like, I just cannot do that. Like,
I didn't do it. Wasn't consecutive this year. The first year I went, I saw I saw Black Christmas, Halloween '78, and then the new Halloween 2018, all in one day. So it was like a 7-hour day. I fell asleep during Halloween 1, like the 78 version, because I had seen it so many times. Like I need a rest before I watched the new one. Then last year I did Freddy vs. Jason, Evil Dead, and one more. I forgot what it was.
It gives me anxiety thinking about watching those movies back to back. Like I was just literally like, oh my god, that's like a task. I can't even sleep. You're getting scared. I just sleep every minute.
I thought I was gonna be so screwed when 5 took after we did BlkPrint in LA 2 weeks ago. He took me out to see Smile.
I want to see that.
He didn't tell.
I saw it last night.
He didn't tell. I didn't know what Smile was until we actually got there, and I was like, "Wait, we're watching a horror film right now." I don't do horror films, so I was bugging out. I thought I'd be like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna be jumping out the seat," but it wasn't that bad. I was not that scared. I only had two jumping moments. That's really it.
It was good though.
It was good. It's real good.
I might check it out tonight.
Smile is really dope. I think that they play a little fast and loose with like suicide in it, and I was kind of like, that's kind of crazy, but it's a really good movie. It's long as shit though.
I feel like I just watched Dahmer, so I'm like, I can watch anything.
That was real horror, nigga. This is
crazy guy.
But no, I saw VHS 99. VHS is a pretty good series of movies. Halloween Ends, and I saw, what did I see the week before? I saw Hellraiser, the new Hellraiser. movie.
Oh, okay. I've seen that. Hellraiser used to scare me as a child. That was my thing. I was like, yo, I can't fuck with this thing.
Yeah, this new one
Pins in his face. I was really scared of that. I had dreams of like toothpicks in my face. Shit, crazy. The fuck is this nigga on?
I would say if you didn't fuck with that, you would probably hate this one too. It's just this kind of gory and kind of crazy.
I remember having vivid dreams as a child of toothpicks.
Pinhead?
Toothpicks stuck in my face because of that movie.
That's just acupuncture, bro.
Yeah, I've gotten acupuncture a few times.
It's not cool.
I prefer cupping.
We gotta hit the.
Niggas ain't getting their back cup. I'm sorry.
Please.
No, Sarsky.
Please.
Niggas not on that. It's not a pause word.
It's Josh Squeeze.
It's a woman doing it.
It's women doing it.
For me, at least. Not that it matters. If it's a guy doing it, it'd be fine.
The wine is flowing, bro.
It doesn't matter.
Well, we gotta hit Beyond Fest. It's really
Was that like a
really
horror
dope
movie
atmosphere. It's like a lot of different movies. Like they don't just do horror, but it's a lot of different like off the wall sci-fi shit like that. Like it's real cool. Like and then sometimes they'll have like the directors come in and do Q&As and stuff like that. It's pretty dope.
I've been to a couple. Like I've seen like a little film festival Q&A with the director type thing. I don't mind that.
Would you ask a question?
I would. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I'm not beneath asking a question.
Speaking of things we watch, a week and a half ago, Josh said, "Hey man, I'm watching a James Bond movie.
Yeah.
The one with the niggas.
Yeah, Live and Let Die.
Live and Let Die.
I still ain't finished it. It's funny. I ain't finished it yet, but that's
James Bond movies are long as shit.
Yeah, they are. But I'm not mad at it. James Bond funny. Funny. That's a funny ass episode. That's low key. Like if niggas revisit that, they're gonna find a lot of racist moments in there.
100%.
Yeah,
the thing that I fuck with about Live or Let Die is how crazily black it is, but also like kind of racist.
It's very racist. Like
it connects us to voodoo and
even just.
Oh, that's the one with Baron Samedi in it.
Baron Samedi, Baron Samedi,
yeah. He was good in that.
The guy with the hat.
Yeah, he was good in that.
That's a scary nigga. I'm shocked you weren't scared of that nigga.
Yeah, he was looking a little scary.
Yeah,
he did some shit where he like had some shit on his face, like he had a mask.
What he looked like on
crazy.
What he looked like on Goldeneye. That was his look on Goldeneye. The game.
Yep.
Yeah, he was like the tallest nigga, and it was dumb in Goldeneye because you could shoot his hat, and it would be like you could shoot him in the head. Because that's how ghetto the game was back in the day.
Man.
But that movie and James Bond movies in general are just like they're like escapist movies. Because it's like the man has all the power in these movies. So it's like
because he was swagging. He was coming in doing swaggy shit.
He was like 65 years old when he filmed that. But he was fucking on black women that was like 25.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm like, bro, the power fantasy of James Bond is crazy. Just from the fact that he's got all these guns, cars, hoes, all that shit.
Yeah, I hate to make it a racial thing. That one was but he be fucking on all type of hoes.
He does.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, but
and that one too. But
it was the first time I think like that he was like because like he
that was like the James Bond blaxploitation.
Yeah, well, and that's why I fuck with it because it's very blaxploitation. Their first fucking scene is in Harlem. Like, fuck out of here. Like
that shit. Yeah, the Harlem scenes are funny too because it's like this is straight pimps. Everybody's a pimp. It's like damn, nigga, it's just different type of pimps.
New York pimping. But had you ever seen any movies before that? Like, were you into that before? Because like this is kind of
my brother is a big James Bond fan.
Okay,
so he used to always watch that shit. Now I love Goldeneye. Like I'm waiting for the re-release. That's coming. I'm on that.
Yeah,
like, super on that. But I never really like I like it was cool. Like I'm not a big action movie fan. Now I've just became recently. Like I've been watching like Jack Ryan and shit like that.
Niggas watching Jack Ryan.
Jack Ryan's great. I'm sorry, that's just fire. And like John Wick, I went back and watched.
Wait, you had never seen John Wick?
I had never seen it. Then I went back and watched it. I'm like, oh, this is some shit I could kind of fuck with. Yeah,
it's all about a dog.
Yeah, it's dog. I love dogs.
Yeah, it's all about his dog. Which was your favorite one so far? Have you seen them all?
I haven't seen them all, but I mean, shit, the first one.
Part 2 is better.
Okay, all right.
Part 2 is.
I gotta just like binge them all and just kind of like.
Now that gives me anxiety. That's a lot of death.
Hey.
He kills like 125 people in the second one.
I mean, shit. Well, it's like, yeah, it's different.
That's the real Dahmer right there, nigga. Like he killing mad niggas on that shit.
He is.
But one of the biggest conversations surrounding James Bond, Daniel Craig just ended his role as James Bond a year ago.
Yeah, and
a lot of people are like, we want a black person.
Is it gonna be Idris Elba?
No.
Oh, because he was like the voice for fucking. Oh, it's a woman, isn't it?
No, it's not a woman.
Oh, I thought
there's a woman equivalent of him in the last movie, and everyone was like, "Oh, she's dope," but she literally has nothing to do in the movie.
So who's the next James Bond?
No one knows, but people want it to be a black person.
It's not gonna be Idris?
No.
Why not?
What?
I just seen him. He was like the narrator for like this shit I was watching on Netflix called like Human Playground.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you doing narrating this?
He does a lot of shit. He's rapping.
Super British accent.
He's rapping
like
too.
Putting it on hard. I'm like, nigga, use your Wire accent. Nigga.
Well, Mark also still has not seen The Wire, by the way.
Oh man.
No, I have not completed. I have not completed The Wire as of yet. I think I'm on season 1, episode 2.
How does it keep falling into your on your list of things to watch?
How far has it fallen?
How does it keep falling?
Oh, how does it keep falling? Just brand new things come up right now, man. I'm in my little trio that I have right now. I'm alternating in between Rami, Atlanta, and Abbott Elementary. Pretty good trio right now. But I still have a decent list of things that I need to watch.
You could watch that shit without having to watch. Some of these shows are weekly. You could watch it between the week.
But I don't catch them weekly. I watch wrestling.
Bro, wrestling only comes on twice a week.
I watch wrestling.
You ain't watching Dynamite.
I might peruse.
Oh, NBA coming back, so you're not watching none of that shit no more. So another thing that we saw over the week, the House Party trailer came out. This movie's been pushed back like a year, like a lot.
Oh yeah, I was, and then I saw the trailer and I was like, what the fuck? This shit look good. I'm excited. I'm excited for it. It looked like a good. I hate to call it corny, but it looked like a good just a good movie.
It could have been. I feel like it could have been called something else.
Nah, but it's like still
It's not House Party to me.
It is House Party.
It feels different to me. If it don't feel
I
like
mean, that's how movies should feel. Like what you want it to be like. Look at the Halloween ends and all this shit.
Well, here's my thing. They're not trying to.
They feel different, don't they? They feel the same.
It don't feel like House Party, bro.
Oh man, so
I
I feel like
House Party, bro.
I feel like niggas have a more critical eye for black content.
That's not
like,
true.
let's compare it to Halloween.
That's
Do the
not
Halloweens feel the same or are they different?
A lot of people don't like this Halloween.
Do you think it feels the same or is it different?
It is different.
All right, you like it?
The new Halloween?
Yeah. All right.
But
you
it's
might,
not
you
trying
might like
to,
House Party.
But it's not. No. But that wasn't an argument. What are you talking about?
Yo, Josh tried that gotcha real.
It wasn't.
He thought he. Josh put his fist in the air and
That
got
made
him.
no sense. Everyone who's gonna listen to this is gonna be like, they're gonna be like, what?
Got him.
like that would be like if they remade Halloween and didn't put Michael Myers or it's still a slasher
Kid
movie.
didn't play in that motherfucker.
It's not, but it has nothing. Like, here's my thing. It don't feel like the same movie to me. I feel like it could. I'm not saying it's not gonna.
I
be
feel
a
like
good movie.
I feel like it's equivalent to like what fucking what's the shit called? Not a House Party. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
I ain't like that either.
But it feels.
You ain't like it either.
Yeah. But I have higher hopes for this, and a lot of people enjoy Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
Hey,
People love it. They
come
wait
on,
for the
man.
second season. People enjoyed that shit. I can't front.
They enjoyed making fun of it. Yes.
Nah, I think people really told me they enjoyed it. They watched it through.
Who?
Oh, we can go look up the online.
Oh, you said no. You said people told you.
Oh,
You said,
no. I've spoken to people. I don't want to put their names out there. I've spoken to people who enjoyed it.
Like, Josh, you don't gotta get. Listen, man, we don't gotta get defensive over House Party. I'm just saying.
I'm not. I think
haven't
House
seen
Party-
it based on the trailer that I've watched.
I've seen a lot. Well, you know,
Let me preface this.
Finish
Let me
your statement.
preface
I'm
this.
sorry.
Let me preface this. House Party is one of my favorite movies of all time. So you could understand how I'm a little bit not defensive, but a little bit harsher on it than I would be about White Man Can't Jump. I don't care.
I'm not the biggest House Party fan. It's a cool movie. It's cool.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of critiques online about it, and I'm just like, it looks cool to me. I like the LeBron shit. The LeBron shit was great.
I feel like that was a way for LeBron to get in a movie he could cuss.
I liked it.
He wanted to get in a movie where he could say shit and motherfucker and nigga.
Yeah, come on. Bron is a nigga, bro.
Have you ever heard LeBron say nigga?
Yeah, he be rapping it. And I think he said that conversation in the shop.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, LeBron got his niggas off.
I'm just asking a question if we have seen.
Nah,
or heard
I think
LeBron
is funny, man. I love this part of LeBron's career. I love it, man.
I think, and the thing is this, like the original House Party had no plot. Let me just be clear.
Yeah.
It had no plot. I was like, you know what? For House Party to succeed, to me, I was like, we don't need too many frills and spills and chills. When the nigga said I need $10K for my daughter, I said, what are we doing?
He need $10K for his daughter.
What? How are we doing this? But it feels like, one thing I will say about it feels like it's taking in different elements of House Party, which is part 2, they needed money for kids, college. Part 3, they had the marriage, the bachelor party shit. Like,
and I think we're just in the day and age where you're not gonna get no. Well, I don't know. You might, but it's like a movie about nothing. It's hard to come by.
I would argue that a lot of the Marvel movies are about nothing, but
yes, but that's Marvel. It's like it comes with some IP. Like it's hard. Like even for someone like fucking, I was just listening to Ice Cube, and we're gonna touch on him a little later. He was talking about how it's hard. Like the studio, I forget what studio that owns Friday now.
Yeah, New Line Cinema.
They kept rejecting the scripts for the next Friday
because it was about nothing.
I don't know if it was about nothing or not, but Friday's about nothing. Pretty much.
Essentially, it is a movie
Friday
about
is a black ass version of like Seinfeld. Yeah, it really is. It's just a day about nothing.
But I looked at it and I said, okay, and maybe I got to see the movie. I haven't seen it. You know what I'm saying? I'm just giving you my thoughts on the trailer.
But I saw the trailer and I heard so many. Well, look, I heard some bad reviews leading up to it. Like people that saw test screenings and things like that, and I was like, oh, and then it got getting pushed back, so it kind of left a bad connotation in my mind.
And we thought it wasn't coming at all.
I thought it wasn't coming. I was like, damn. And now I saw the trailer, and I'm like, what the fuck is everybody tripping off of? This is gonna be good.
I think the trailer just not a good trailer. Maybe the movie has a little bit more heart.
See, but maybe the trailer's for niggas like me who don't know good trailers. Because I was just like, I looked at the trailer.
The trailer's not the movie, Josh.
I was like, this is a good trailer.
The trailer's not the movie. The thing is that let's go back to another example. Halloween Ends. The trailer is nothing like how the movie is. You know what I'm saying? Like the movie is actually completely 180 from what the trailer is. So maybe the trailer just wasn't a good trailer. But the movie could be better. I could come around on it. if the movie's good. But the trailer, I was like, this just seemed like
That's why I don't be watching trailers.
this.
I really don't. Like only time I watch trailers is at the movie theater.
Yeah.
But I don't like go and watch trailers on YouTube
online?
and shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I was really conscious about that. And this is why.
But this is a I wouldn't even say House Party is like an IP because it's not like an IP that that survived past like 95. But like I feel like people are very defensive about this.
Oh yeah,
especially
absolutely.
like my age, people that seen it when they were younger. So you gotta feel
We
it.
put the dance in there for y'all.
They
We put the little leg dance and shit. They did it.
One thing I will say that's good because Josh, you're not giving any inch on.
I just enjoyed it. I enjoyed the trailer, bro. I was like,
you gotta understand where I would come from. Where it's just like, yo, like this had the clothes, like, and that's one thing I will say about it. The clothes. I saw Neighbor Skate Shop. He was wearing a Neighbor Skate Shop shirt. I thought
see.
that was
It's funny.
dope.
I love the Neighbor Skate Shop, but the fit was terrible.
The fit is with the
Who
blazer.
styled that was the fit was terrible. But that's the thing. Like you need shit like that in movies to just like you.
But Kid and Play was fresh back in the day.
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
But, like I saw the nigga in the whole Palm Angels outfit.
mean,
I'm like,
the nigga
that's not fresh.
I mean, but that's fresh to niggas in fucking Kansas
kids.
City.
The Kansas City.
Yeah,
This
niggas-
House Party.
I'm just saying, like it's. Yeah, you're right.
This House Party. What you saying? House Party is
I'm
a
just
LA
saying
movie.
that shit, but that shit's just fresh to niggas who don't know better. That's just still fresh to niggas. Man, it's fresh to niggas in LA. It's niggas in LA wearing Palm Angels.
Especially kids.
Half the
Yeah.
niggas in LA.
No, I'm telling you
not
right
from
now.
LA.
High school kids, if you put a Palm Angels fit in front of them, they gonna rock that motherfucker. Little baby still. I'm dead serious. We are on some other shit. We're a little older.
Okay.
Some high school kids from LA.
Yeah.
Is on some Palm
100%,
Angels.
but these niggas is not from. These niggas is not high school kids.
This is who this shit's for. It's for 18 to 24.
Listen, if y'all wanted a 5-minute dissection of the House Party,
I'm just saying. I'm just giving you. No, I'm giving you the business of it. This
Yes.
movie is for 18 to 24 year olds.
then it's not fully for 18 to 20 year olds.
Okay, let's say 18 to
come
34.
on. Okay.
18 to 34.
All right, it's
18
not
to
fully
34.
because the thing
So-
is, those
but
kids
the
don't give a
18
fuck about House Party.
So 18 to 34, they don't even know what the fuck House Party is. They don't even call it House Party Part 2, and then this is House
Yeah.
Party. This is gonna
Yeah.
be new to them. They're like, oh shit, House Party. Nigga, I be having house parties.
I'm just glad that it's coming out because we didn't even know if it was gonna happen.
Oh, I'm
And
super happy it's coming out. I'm actually, I'm about to. Is it in theaters?
I don't think so. I didn't.
I think it is in theaters.
It will be.
I think so. Yeah,
I'm
because
interested
I think
to
that was what the push and pull was. That was supposed to be on HBO.
Yeah.
And then it went, yeah.
Well, and again, you know, the premise is they're at LeBron's house this time. I don't mind that. I don't mind it because that's what they would have did in a House Party movie. They would have did some shit like that and made some money off of it.
Yeah.
I just thought the tone was just kind of like it just didn't feel right to me. And maybe that's just a trailer. You know
No,
what
I
I'm
feel
saying?
you.
Maybe it's just a trailer.
I'm looking forward to seeing it. Maybe we do some a BlkPrint
Live
movie
watch.
night. Yeah, just go and see it and talk
And
about
then
it after.
the thing is though is that I'm not trying to be harsh on it because I watch a lot of movies a year.
Yeah,
and
no,
I know, but I'm not judging this to the same level I would judge Halloween Ends or something like that. I'm gonna judge it, and because the thing is, I take offense to you saying that
Gotcha.
I judge. I take offense to you saying that I'm harsher on black comedy because I
No.
like some dumb shit.
No,
I
think,
watch some
but you,
dumb
you
shit.
know, but you made your point. You said you're a big fan of the House Party franchise, so
100%.
you're just going to be a harsher critic, and that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But I also feel like, in general, in public, people are a lot more harsher on black content, especially black remakes and things like that. Like Coming to America too.
That movie was come on.
It was bad.
Yeah, okay.
It was bad.
I'm about to say.
but I think I don't know. I just feel like people are a lot more harsher on black content.
well, I'll
in general, it's just not even just black content in general.
I'll take that and I'll raise you this. There aren't a lot of comedies that come out anymore, period.
Yeah. I
So
know.
for this to survive right now, a lot of stuff. There was another comedy that came out like a month ago, the Bros or whatever. It was like about the
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
the gay relationship.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Well, you just don't fuck with it because it was gay people." I was like, I just don't think people go see comedy movies anymore. They just don't. And plus, the trailer to me was like, a lot of people didn't like the main character, like the guy who plays the main character of the show. And I was like, it just looked annoying. It didn't look funny. It just looked annoying to me. Like, I'll fuck with it if it's funny.
If it's
but
good, yeah.
yeah. But like
I feel
people
you.
just don't see comedy.
And I feel you. That's
Because remember, we had an age where we had Superbad, Knocked Up, a whole bunch of other stuff.
We're
And
not
now
we're not getting good comedy.
we don't get good comedies.
Yeah.
You know why? Because everyone goes online for their jokes.
Hey, speaking of good comedies, I've been watching Atlanta. Hey, They crushing it, man. I'm sorry. They crushing it. I'm
This
sorry.
past episode was hilarious.
Yeah,
That
we can
feels
talk
like
about
a 1-2 era of Atlanta.
Honestly, that's go. We're gonna talk about that on Patreon because I got some shit that I can't say on public. But that shit,
About
they
that episode?
crushing it.
About that episode?
About the episode. They're killing it. They're killing it right
if
now.
If you haven't watched it 5, you gotta watch it. It's
Yeah.
if you want old era of Atlanta, this past episode is really good.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Look at you.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
Bro.
Moving on. We have to. I want to get through this next topic with the least amount of.
We're gonna slide through this topic.
Yeah,
we gonna
because
get through this quick.
Yeah, because I don't want to. Me and Mark had a conversation.
I fuck a conversation. Honestly, like it's just not for me. People aren't. Well, let's.
I'll introduce it. So, yay.
That's all you need to say.
Yay. There's been a lot of things that have happened in the last 2 weeks.
Fucking the last 24 hours.
Yeah, since we've done this. We have thoughts, obviously, on it. A lot of it.
And prayers. I have more prayers than thoughts, honestly.
I do as well. I think that even if I don't care to see the guy anymore or whatever, I will hope that whenever this comes down or happens, he gets some help. But White Lives Matter shirt happens. He wears it at his. I think this happened like days after we had recorded.
Yeah.
It was at his fashion show. Been countless tweets. He got kicked off of Instagram, I believe. It's tough to timeline all of this stuff. I might miss stuff, but sticking on the White Lives Matter, Virgil stuff.
This shit is all stupid.
That's where it kind of broke down, right?
For me, it's just this is a mental health issue, and let's treat it as that. Like let's get him help. Like this is literally someone having a mental breakdown in our face, and when he finally gets help, we're all gonna look back at this and be like, "We watched this live." And we're gonna have a different, and it's scary, and we're gonna have a little more empathy towards it. And I just hope he just gets help, man. I think the shirt was in bad taste. I think he doesn't really know why he did it, and
he can't even explain it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like everyone's like, "Oh, this is calculated. He's doing this on purpose. He got something to sell." And I'm like, "No, this isn't calculated. This is all erratic behavior."
Yeah,
I think when you look at him in interviews, he's that Tucker Carlson. What's his name? Tucker Carlson. I should know him.
Why should you know him?
Yeah.
Please. Wait, what?
I like to see both sides. But honestly, he did Tucker Carlson, and just the way he was talking throughout that, it's like he didn't even have thoughts to give. Like he's like pausing and trying to formulate the thoughts.
When you are the craziest person on a Tucker Carlson interview,
it was crazy, right?
Then you have like even Tucker was like, yeah, this nigga's wildin'.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and he said niggas.
Like it just shows that he's just not in the right state. And even if he has some type of opinion, he's not in the right state to even
address that.
Yeah, he's not there.
Like he is. Obviously, there was stuff about anti-Semitism.
Yeah, and then it's just like that. It's just like even that,
which again is a can of worms that like we have. I feel like my thing is this, right? We have so many more boogeymen in the world in our lives
Kanye West,
than Kanye West, right?
So that's why I'm like he needs help. We shouldn't even give him that attention. Like
we have people who are actively trying to take away our rights. We have still the fear and the actual reality of what goes on that he don't have to deal with at all. When we get in our cars every day and go to work, when we go to a club, when we go to wherever we go to, that he don't even got to worry about. I would rather spend our time trying to fix that shit than trying to fix him.
Yeah, this is how I feel. We need to treat Kanye West like we treat the homeless people in Los Angeles.
I called 311.
Yeah, we need like how we all feel like they need help, and we need to build shelters and housing and get them help. Like we don't need to put them in jail. We need to get them help. Mm-hmm. That's how we need to treat Kanye West. Yeah, Kanye West is the crazy person standing on the street screaming,
he just got more
"Nigger, move!" Like that. You've seen the Tourette's. Like we need to get her help. Like we need to get him help, and I think that's really what we need to. How we need to treat him. And it's unfortunate that this shit plays out in public just because he is a public figure. Right. But if it wasn't in public, we would be like, yo, like,
we would have
put him in the hospital.
We would have already done that or just completely detached from him. Yeah. And that's my thought is like, I haven't listened to a Kanye album in years.
Yeah. And I won't even go that far. I think, when he put out the Dondas, he was doing something interesting. And even the casual hip hop fan might have listened. Yeah. But I think we're even so far past that. it's just like, man, he's just like, we need him to like really, we need help.
Go sit down.
We need help.
And I think another element to this where it all broke down, because he's been wilding for the past month and everyone's been kind of ignoring him.
Yeah.
The Virgil thing.
The Virgil, I think that's when it started to like. I think he's at a point where he's like, we're crazy people. What's the craziest thing I could say?
Yeah.
And he's saying more crazier stuff. Like,
so it started with he believes that LVMH killed Virgil.
and even that, it's like I see what he's trying to say. The work killed him. The stress of the work and the.
But that's not what he said.
But that's what he's trying. Like, not to say I can see what he's trying to say, but in other interviews, he's had multiple interviews.
Yeah,
where he
he
said
has.
it, and he said it in different ways.
Yeah.
And in one interview, he kind of explained it like that, and it's like, okay.
But that's what he'll do, is that he'll say the wild shit, stand on it, stand on business, so to speak, and then back down. And Tucker, that's when he backed down on the Tucker interview, and I've only seen clips of that.
Yeah.
And there's actually stuff that they didn't show in that.
Yeah,
It was even worse.
The leak, yeah, it's just like
That was worse.
But I mean, it's just him saying.
But what do you
crazy
feel
shit.
about him? What
The
he had to
Virgil-
say about Virgil?
The Virgil stuff is whack, and I think it's super whack because Virgil is one of those guys who, like, when he was
loved
alive, he loved everyone. He showed love. Like, I've never heard anyone have a bad story about Virgil.
Right.
So when he was alive and he was making his art, yeah, everyone critiqued it. I was a critique of Virgil stuff.
Yeah.
Now that he's passed away, I understand the magnitude of what his work means to the culture, and it's like those critiquing feelings I had, I can't even have those in myself anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like someone's Kanye who's close to him.
Yeah.
It's like, nigga, that's your brother. You've seen it. You know more than me why it was happening. You should have no critique for this guy.
Yeah.
Like, he came from the same shit you came from. And even if you feel a ping of jealousy because you want to be there, you're Kanye West. You can't be there. You building your own. You doing shit that he might feel a ping. Nigga, you was Kanye West. You think he wasn't jealous of that?
I look at it like Kanye could never be Virgil, just like Virgil could never be Kanye.
Exactly.
And that's why they had their own lanes.
Yeah, and that's why they were dope. And
Yeah.
it sucks that two people who were so dope to culture, who came from the same lineage, from your lineage,
Yeah.
nigga. It's your lineage. You can't have admiration and you talking down.
I think that sours his lineage to
Oh,
show that
absolutely.
he had that type of hatred for,
but
like,
also
not hatred but jealousy towards that.
But also, I look at it as a twofold. When Kanye, God forbid, passes, but everyone does. We're gonna look at all this shit and be like, man, look at the genius of this guy. We're not gonna be on. We're not gonna.
I think it's going.
We're gonna say he was going through a mental breakdown.
I
for
think
these
it's complicated.
Years. I'm telling you, bro.
It's gonna be
pretty
complicated.
debatable. That's
It's
pretty
complicated
Because he has the thing is though, Josh, as much as people love him, he's hurt a lot of people with what he said.
I feel you, but I'm telling you, bro. They're gonna look at the last portion of whatever it is. They're gonna be like, he was going through.
They do that
this
now.
era. They're gonna be like, he was
They
going
say the
through.
old Kanye.
They're gonna be like, he's going through an era, and he's gonna clean it up, and they're gonna be like, oh.
But
when he passed away, bro, I'm telling you, this is just gonna be an
I'm
era
not-
of time of Kanye West's life that people are gonna be like, we don't.
I'm not doubting that some people are going to look at it that way.
Yeah.
But you already have people saying, "Oh, I miss the old Kanye," and they're already cutting his achievements off at 2010, and then they're like,
I think
they're
it's so
moving on.
crazy. He should have said that shit before. He should have said this before the Netflix shit came out. Because niggas loved you after that shit.
Exactly.
You should get all the bullshit out before
concert.
that.
It was the Drake concert, and
Shout out to
then
Amazon.
and then the documentary, and it was like, damn, he really needs help, and then he just didn't
Hey,
stop.
Hold on one second. I just want the world to know how big of a part Amazon playing in that Drake concert is. We showed that to the world. Like, y'all would have seen that. That would have just been a concert in Los Angeles that people have seen iPhone clips of.
And
if it
that
wasn't for Amazon.
And
Shout out
that
to
to
us.
me, Josh, is probably going to be, I think, the last real moment he had with fans, because a lot of those fans are like, after this whole shit, they're done.
Yeah.
A lot of people are done, and it gets even deeper than that. And I know we said we were going to kind of try and breeze past it, but we got to talk about this too. It goes on Drink Champs.
I haven't watched it yet. I'm gonna watch it though. I can't wait to watch that.
Goes on Drink
I honestly
Champs.
don't even think you can. I think it's.
They took it down.
Oh, they took it down already?
Yeah. By the time we hear this, it might be back up, but right now it's off YouTube. I think you can only watch it through Revolt.
It's coming on Revolt later tonight, but I've heard they might not make it available to replay because of the anti-Semitism shit that he does. They stand on it, and the George Floyd thing that he said.
The George Floyd clip I saw, I'm just like, bro, you can let that shit brainwash you. I seen somebody, a friend of mine, said that, like, oh, see, the media. I'm like,
No.
I'm like,
he
bro,
said
what?
that he got hit with the fentanyl, and his knee wasn't even on his fucking neck like that.
Kanye West, you crazy, bro. You march. So
You marched with him.
For? Yeah.
You saw it.
Yeah, Kanye. But I'm telling y'all, man, this nigga is going crazy in front of our faces.
I see people saying
even when he's talking, like I haven't watched the I'm sorry to cut you off. I haven't watched the Norris shit, but when he talking, he be searching for the thoughts. Like you can see the spaciness in his face. Like how y'all don't see this as someone crying for help?
But the thing is like and I'm not a mental health professional. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how bad it is when someone's off their meds for as long as he may.
I don't even know. Meds, on meds. When has he ever been on meds? This is just a amalgamation of never being on motherfuckers.
Yeah, I think that is too. That's what it is too, and it's concerning. I wasn't so much offended as I was really like concerned, and I was just like, I've been done since he was with Trump looking like a golden lord with the blonde hair. I've been done since that, and then it just continues and continues. It's like okay, if this is the straw that breaks the camel's back, and this is where people are done with, what's next? I mean, J.P. Morgan taking the money away and all this stuff. That to me is just window dressing on the bigger issue.
Yeah, I'm like, what's the real reason why?
Yeah, like
I'm just like.
but
again, it's just like, man, like.
I'm not gonna get caught up in that bullshit.
But look at him,
because exactly.
The nigga ain't shaved. He fat. Like the nigga is letting himself go, and we need to put our arms around him and help.
I'm not putting shit around him. His kids need to go put his arm around him.
We need to cut his mic off and protect Kanye West and get him some help.
He not no brother. He not no brother to me. Like he can go. He got a family. He got a family that loves him.
I know, and that's what I'm saying. Like as an individual, and wherever you listen to this at, you ain't probably gotta do nothing. But I think he needs help and protection and mental.
But that come with his
health.
yes men. That come with his yes people that keep telling him it's okay to do shit like this.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right.
Ain't nobody grabbing this nigga. He shows texts of his dad laughing.
You know what would be tripping me out? Justin LeBoy just be posting memes all day.
Like, say shit about this.
This shit crazy, man. He need to post some help your crazy friend.
No, he not. You know why you're not going to? Because there's too many people in this world that are very happy with just riding the wave and being in the cart and being around it.
And yeah, I don't even want to get into all that because that's the semantics of it. But yo, just help Kanye West, please.
I really just don't want this to be an excuse for accountability. I think removing accountability because of a lot of these situations ends up being a troublesome part, which is probably why we have these situations repeating themselves again. And honestly, I don't even want to talk about this like it with like a sad or a somber note on my like. I'm literally just laughing at this. I'm literally just laughing.
Yeah, I'm laughing at it, but then I'm also like, I think the accountability part is interesting because it's like, do we give accountability to the crazy people in the world, the people screaming on the corners?
Do we give them accountability?
What accountability do we hold them to?
Do they take that?
What accountability do we hold them to?
They're not worth $1 billion.
With millions of views?
They don't influence children. Hey. They don't influence kids.
Have they dropped classic albums that omit them?
Some of them have
different things.
Who is on the streets of
nigga? You know, it's some motherfuckers that was up and that's down and out right now in the streets.
Oh, damn, let me go outside and see if Jay Holiday's around the corner, nigga.
He might be. Life Jennings.
Why Jay Holiday?
Life Jennings is definitely on Instagram talking about how
saying for
Dahmer was.
That's sus. I'm sorry. I don't know why he let that one go. You sang for Jeffrey Dahmer?
The fans couldn't have got that out of me.
That's weird.
Bro.
That's so weird.
Hell no. But no,
yeah,
that's crazy. Jeffrey, Life Jennings might see.
What?
That's a Patreon topic.
Like to risk us sounding like Sweet Life LA too much about accountability and holding your friends accountable.
Accountability is the biggest.
These niggas on the street are not being like, all right, kids. You know what I'm saying? They're not doing that. Thing with Kanye is that, and where it breaks down is that he actually is a role model. And I think there was a long period of time. He might have been your role model. He might have been my role model. He might have been MC's role model. We want to say, yo, what he's doing is awesome. And in some way along the lines, everyone says when his mom passed, I don't know. It might have been before that because the mental health is always creeping behind you at one point. You know what I'm saying? Depression, all of that stuff is always there. It's always present. We don't know. We just don't know what the trigger is going to be. Yep. And I think with him, it's like, yes, I want this guy to get help, but I don't want to hear this shit no more, bro. Like, stop inviting him on your fucking shows. Like the shop canceled the interview. I'm like, good for y'all, but some bullshit is that if he hadn't said the anti-Semitic shit, would y'all have still ran that interview?
I wonder what else he said. They need to drop that interview. Somebody.
It'll leak. We seen pictures. I heard that him and Jeezy was going at it.
That's what I heard too. So I want to get the full story because I think that was a very
Jeezy's a smart guy.
Yes. Yes. I think, and that's what we need more of that.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at him going on the shop. I'm mad at them taping it. Jeezy, you need to hit him up. He has one of your biggest hits. Y'all need to talk to this nigga. Yo, like, what are you doing? Like, niggas need. That's my thing, bro. It's so many people around him and so many people who profit off of him and are from his lineage. Talk to this man.
Yeah.
And if he want to block y'all out and don't listen, then cool. But y'all got to at least say it and not like and just be like, I'm not fucking with him no more. I see a lot of I'm not fucking with him no more.
John Legend's the only person that I've
see
seen
a lot of
actually
people
did
from his crew. I feel like a lot of people that came from Kanye's loin are like, I'm not fucking with him no more. Online talking about they're not fucking with him no more. Nah, you need to go and tell him why you're not fucking with him and why he need to be better.
And like I said, John Legend's the only nigga that actually did that.
Yeah, so
he's the only
and also on top of that, would you blame Big Sean for taking that chance? Look at how he just embarrassed Big Sean.
No,
I thought they pieced it up.
They did, and it's like, no, you need to go and tell him you're being crazy. You need to be better, and that's it. And
Cuddy too. Cuddy and John Legend are the only two niggas that I know that actually like.
That's the thing. I don't even know like behind the scenes if people are doing it. They might not. I don't know, but I'm just like I'm hoping y'all are because it's like I feel like it's not enough of the people telling him, yo, you're wrong.
Yeah, because my thing is this like, and again we stand on this way longer than we should. But I think of it like. To a lot of kids, rappers really are their North Stars. They're you know what I'm saying? Like Lil Baby motivates a lot of kids.
No, it's crazy, man.
You know what I'm saying? So like that's why it's important.
Music and pop culture and it is important for these people to be good role models.
Yeah.
But also, I don't know, man. Parent your kids, man.
100%. You shouldn't be watching the Drink Champs with Nori and Kanye.
Yeah, you shouldn't even be watching Drink Champs.
You shouldn't be watching that shit. Okay, we had a lot of topics to talk about today.
Know.
Let's pick someone to stay. Let's pick one to take the B sides, and let's pick one to take us out of here. Do we want to do the Crew League? Because I feel like people got to hear.
Let's do the Crew League.
We got to. Okay, so what is Crew League, Josh?
Crew League is, and shout out to the dudes who started. I've met them before. I'm blanking on their names right now. But it is the guys that produce it is the guys from Psycho Films.
Okay.
Christian and I forget your partner's name, but y'all, shout out to y'all. It's a basketball tournament with rappers. It's the greatest fucking concept. It's like it goes hand in hand. Every rapper thinks they can hoop.
Right.
They be hooping at the studio. I've watched Thug play, Future. Yeah, G Herbo. Then now they to the point where Drake, they actually hooping or
they have like a pro-am thing.
Yeah, they're practicing with trainers though. And really like practicing with the trainers that the NBA guys use and like using the NBA moves and Crew League is just a good a good vehicle for that concept. This is the second season, I believe, second or third season. This season, you got Nardo Wick is playing with his team.
That's what we're gonna talk about today.
Yeah, he's playing 21 Savage. There's a Joyner Lucas versus Waka Flocka, and then who's the other game?
You had Babyface Ray versus NLE Chopper.
Yeah, that was a good one. That was actually a really good one. And then I think the next game is
Quavo and Roddy Ricch.
Which Quavo damn near need to be in the league.
Quavo
has a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Quavo takes it really serious.
Yeah.
He shows up in the Nardo Wick episode to scout.
Just walk in, just watching.
I'm like, wait, what? This ain't a real NBA game, Quavo, but they are in Atlanta. So
and actually, NLE Chopper used to hoop too. This is his second year playing. He lost to Babyface Ray.
Okay.
But he's actually good. But I'm surprised he lost. But Babyface Ray just has some hooper. Babyface Ray has some Detroit hoopers on his team, and Detroit has a good hoop scene. So like he has some dudes.
I wonder how the payout works here. Like, do the rappers get paid or the crew gets paid? Like, I wonder how that works.
I think the rappers do it for free. The hoopers get paid, and then there's like a $250,000 cash prize.
That's dope. Okay, yeah, like I feel like it's like if you're a rapper, you're just doing it for fun. You know what I'm saying? To get your crew on.
Yeah, you want to do some shit.
So I watched at the behest of a clip that I saw earlier this weekend of Nardo Wick not knowing what a pick and roll is.
Man,
listen, y'all, I don't watch I'm not deep into no type of sport. I know what a fucking pick and roll is,
bro. Nardo Wick's whole episode made me believe his raps even more. I'm like, nigga, you was outside shooting for real. Yeah, you was running in houses and shit.
The dichotomy of this is that it was Wicked Gang versus Slaughter Gang,
which is great.
And I was like, damn, is Nardo Wick directly from the lineage of 21 Savage?
Absolutely.
I thought that was cool.
It is cool.
That was cool.
Them even working together, I think it's cool. And like, I like that rappers are kind of like taking him under their wing because I always feel like he came in with like not cosigns per se, but he definitely had records with like the big record with Future.
He was raw.
Big record with Dirk.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that he's like becoming a part of the hip hop
Absolutely.
culture since.
And he could get better. He's so young. He could get better.
Yeah. I just like his style. I like the shit he brings to it.
Yeah.
The way he play with sounds, but still be saying shit.
Yeah.
Like it's very much what Cardi and them be doing.
Right.
But he's a regular version of it.
So
the
way they introduce this shit on the show is almost like a Key and Peele episode. It's almost like comedic.
Yeah. Oh no.
It's almost like it's not real.
No, it's all comedy, and that's why it's dope. I'm glad that they're having fun with this shit. Like it's all comedy. I love. That's why I shout out to Psycho Films. Even the way y'all produce this shit, like just the cuts, the back and forth, the hosts.
There's a shot where 21 or someone, I think it's Naruto, 21 shoots a shot. They slow mo it. And it clangs the backboard in fast speed. And I said, all right, y'all niggas are crazy.
They're fooling for sure.
So the idea is that it's first to 21.
Yep.
I think it's I think 3-point range is 2 points or something like that.
Yep.
And then within the 2-point range is 1 point. So it's a long ass game. Okay.
Yeah.
It's enough for 30 minutes an episode. And you can watch this on YouTube, by the way. Revolt has all the episodes.
And it's not. It doesn't feel that long.
It felt like 20 minutes to me.
Yeah. Feel like,
I was more so laughing at it. This is fucking hilarious. Naruto Wick starts off saying, I never played basketball a day in my life. I don't know nothing about no sports.
Man.
Why are you doing this?
He don't know nothing about no sports, but he know that every team is ass. They're like 21 Savage, ass. I saw him shooting free throws.
He missed them. He asked. He said, I'm gonna shoot a free throw and then I'm gonna beat him. I was like, wait, what? 21, of course, talks the most shit.
Oh my God. I thought he was about to
totals 1 point for the game.
And the way he was talking, I'm like, oh, 21 might really hoop. This nigga was so bad.
He was terrible.
I love it.
It was all, and then his manager Meezy, funniest guy in the whole episode.
Man.
Why is the coach dressed down to all Balenciaga?
Shout out to Meezy, bro. I love how you came into that. Just the whole, you said bird from above the rim. I was like, I see it. I see the vision.
or what's his name off the wire? Fucking
Avon. Avon. That's what he was. That's what it was.
That's basically.
I see the vision for sure.
So they're going back and forth. So 21 has like some street ball guys. Naruto has like a random assortment of guys, including his cousin Ian with the Wicks. He's like, Ian nice. Ian got like 0 points.
Ian is not nice. Ian was nicest out of the niggas he hangs with on a daily basis. And it's like, yeah, y'all niggas don't play no basketball. Like, y'all niggas probably play 2K, the most I've ever seen in basketball.
How did you feel about the hard fouls that they were giving out and Naruto getting really upset?
That shit was hilarious. No, the funniest parts, the hard fouls were great, actually. That was hilarious because he damn near really wanted to fight.
Like MC, one of the hard fouls knocks Naruto on his back, like literally knocks his ass down. And he's just like, he's lucky I didn't fight his fuck nigga. And I was like, yo, you can't do that shit.
No, the funniest thing though is they gave Naruto the ball on the inbound. He said, what do I do?
Before
How old is Naruto Wick?
He got to be like early 20s.
I don't even think he's not even 21.
Yeah, like, so he gets the ball at the beginning of the game and says, who do I pass it to?
Yeah, bro, on the inbound, he said, what do I do? He didn't know to throw the ball inbound.
Did he stand in the right area?
Yeah, he was in the right area. I mean, they told him.
They told him to do it.
Yeah.
They
told him to do it.
The guys who knew how to play, right, MC? Where he would like guy was like, go sit over there in the corner. And like he told him to go what to do. He's the team captain, Mark. He's the team captain, bro.
Shit was crazy.
So there was one point where, and I said, you got to look in this episode very closely at Naruto, just moving around the court. He's like basically, you know, the little kids do the Naruto run where they run like with their hands.
He's running like that in the court.
He's not. He's running the guys. He's not even supposed to be guarding. He's supposed to be guarding 21.
Yeah, nah, in the chat, you was like, he was running like somebody playing 2K for the first time.
Yes, he was. Like, he didn't know the controls.
Just swiping, just doing all type of shit.
He said, I got 2 steals, though. So at one point,
he did get a steal. It was actually really crazy.
He stole it from 21.
Yeah.
And then he passed it, which was a good thing. There was one time he traveled. So, like, you know, when you leave your feet, you got to either, like, shoot it or pass it. He left his feet.
Dribble.
He left his feet, and they called a travel, which they weren't calling fouls the whole game. At all. They called no fouls. The only thing and I think they did it for dramatic effect, was to call that traveling call on Naruto Wick. So they called it. He said, man, you can't call that on me. Yes, absolutely. They can call that on you. You left your feet and you didn't do anything. And then you moved. You traveled.
Yeah.
So at the end, they do it. The 21 sets a bet like $8,000 or something that Naruto won't get a single point the whole game. So at that point, I'm like, okay, I'm going to watch Naruto try and make a point. He proceeds to not make a point the whole fucking game.
He didn't even want to take the bet.
So 21's team was down like almost 10 at one point. They come back up to 5. I think NLE Chopper was there. He was just like, I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah.
It's like, they was up 9, now they down 5. I don't know.
Nah, 21. I knew 21 was gonna win from the jump.
They had better ballers.
They had this dude Peanut. That was
Peanut
nice.
was like Muggsy Bogues out there,
thought
bro.
He was motherfucker skip to my loop.
Bro, they was like, yo, the crowd loves Peanut. He hit a 3 as soon as he came in, and then like I don't think he had as much points. As,
he just had some good passes, some good facilitation, some real basketball.
So in the end, they were up 5. One of Nardo's guys dunks on 21, or does a fast break dunk on him.
Yeah,
he's like, I'm looking at you, nigga. I want you, nigga. And I looked at the score and I said, nigga, you're down 5. They have 1 point to win the game.
Bruh.
And then he guarded him real heavy on the other end. They missed a shot, and then they hit the shot to win the game. I said, well, you did all that shit talking to not even win the game.
For nothing. That was a nice dunk though.
It was.
Got 21. That's that nigga's good highlight for the rest of his career, actually.
So I love this show. I'm gonna continue to watch this. I love the post show thing is
love the post show.
Outrageous.
Love it. It's just hilarious. I'm looking forward to that next episode. This Quavo versus Roddy Ricch.
I'm gonna watch that.
I'm telling you, the trailer. That's a good fucking trailer.
It is a good trailer.
Yo, that was the most personality I've seen out of Roddy Ricch's whole career.
They said the highest scoring game in Crew League history. Like the word zooming.
No,
at the
but like
screen.
Roddy's little interview portion, he was actually like. It was personality.
He was emoting.
Yeah, I forgot what he said, but it was just like, oh, like Roddy Ricch, you have a personality.
Roddy had personality?
Yeah.
I was so surprised. I'm like, yo,
his firmware updated.
This need to be his EPK. My Crew League episodes.
But no, really good episode. MC, I would suggest you watch that. If we were in a Crew League team, who would you pick to be on your team?
What, out of you two?
No.
Oh.
But you can pick us. Who would be on your team though?
Neither of you guys. I can pick anybody.
I'm tall, bro.
Are you?
I'm almost 6 feet tall.
Man, I know real tall niggas, man. I know some hoopers.
Real
I got
tall niggas.
That's crazy,
oh, no,
bro.
I could. My brother or my stepbrother, he used to hoop. Like he played for Fairfax High. They won a city championship.
So you pick him?
Yeah, I would definitely pick him. Who else did I pick? I got some hoopers, bro. I got some hoopers around me.
Well, who would you pick, MC? If you were the team captain, who you picking?
I'm gonna get BD, Baron Davis. Holla at me.
I mean, I honestly have no idea. I don't have any basketball friends.
Yeah, it's a random question. I gotta think about that.
I can go out to the Palm Beach Rec and probably find somebody. Yeah, I'll go to Rec and find a couple people.
Palm Beach Rec, and of course Wale texted me telling me he's doing a count right now all morning of how many times Ye mentions Drake's name during the Drink Champs interview. He's up to 17. So
shout out to my nigga Wale. I ran into him at the studio the other day. Randomly.
What are you talking about?
He was just like, "What's up?" I can't even say what he said.
Funny guy.
I can't even tell you what he said.
I will be tapping into Crew League because this is a very big week, very, very, very big week. NBA's back on Tuesday. Heat season opener this Wednesday. We'll be in the building.
Tuesday.
I was going to bring the B&D championship. I'm just going to leave the B&D championship at home.
Are you going
to? Y'all not champions. What the fuck you bringing out a championship belt for?
I mean, it doesn't matter.
What was y'all champions of?
Of Miami.
The Southeast Division.
All right.
Oh, wow.
And almost the Eastern Conference. And almost the Eastern Conference, if not for a 1 3-pointer.
Hey, Nasty Boy Ime made sure that didn't happen, bro. Nasty Boy Ime made sure that didn't happen. We're gonna talk about more basketball when we come back on B-Sides. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back in a week with the Blacklist episode of BlkPrint Radio. I'll be reporting live from Atlanta. Everybody will be at their normal spots. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you sign up for the Patreon, man. We're about to talk about some more shit on the B-Sides. For MC, for Josh, we'll see you guys in a week for BlkPrint Radio. Peace.
Being Weezy, that's the way. Through the ice in this platinum, I did a 180, I went up the wrong way. Look at the bezel, it twinkling, glisten and shine, you gon' need you some sunblock. Thousands of grams and certified stones that came on a time clock. All of my woodies, coyotes, we sticking together, we coming like shot toss. Put a tracker on that bitch if you love her, cause she coming through like a goon squad. I put it on in the Zaba, I got different designers all over.
Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Let's start with a bop. Oof, you guys are gonna love this one.
Okay, callers, is the album worth a listen? It's so good. I bet you would love the intro. Let's play it.
Whoa, a win like that calls for some victory music.
Yo, welcome back to another week and another episode of BlkPrint Radio. I'm J5.
We here. We in the building. Josh Pease, a.k.a. Perry P.
Perry. Well, why is that today?
That's today because I'm going to Paris next week. I'm just excited.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, you know.
Yeah.
Big
money,
pockets.
Money talk. How long are you going to Paris?
Only for a couple of days.
Okay.
Not even long enough. I'm going for such a short amount of time that it's a little broke. It's like, damn, nigga, you going to Paris for a few days? But it's for a good cause.
All right, good. And of course, we got our guy, my man MC, on the boards today. What's going on, MC?
That's not broke at all. Paris, at least for one, even for 48 hours, a Paris trip just sounds lit in general.
Nah, it's gonna be lit, but the trip is so far that's like, nigga, you
might not even worth
that.
it.
Yeah, I'm gonna make a game time decision on my last day if I extend my trip a couple of days or not.
Gotta extend the
How
trip.
long do people stay in Paris?
At least a week. That you got one day alive.
I mean,
week?
the travel so far is crazy. Like, I wouldn't want to go out there and be there for a few days.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
I'm gonna interject here. It makes no sense to go to Paris for 3 days, Josh.
Yeah. Well, if you know what I'm going for, then it makes all the sense in the world.
Oh man. Okay, we'll probably get into reveal that later. But of course, you just heard the voice of our guest. I mean, this dude he's all over the place. Founder of EQT Records, Henny. What's going on, brother?
Yo, what's up, man? Happy for having y'all, for being on here, and thanks for the invite. Always down to support and a little bit y'all are building with this. So thank you for having me.
Oh man, thank you for being on. In fact, I was telling Josh this the other day. Me and you have actually worked together in some capacity. I was there when you was at All Def Digital.
Oh shit! Okay, yep. When good old Chris Blackwell was running the ship, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
CB, over at Universal now.
Nah, of course. Yep. I remember that was you know what? That was kind of like a not a favor, but for Chris and Osmond, I was over there I was consulting for a few months. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember my first day we were in a meeting and you were just basically like, fuck that shit, I don't want to do that shit. We should do it this way. And I said, I like the way this guy thinks. And I was like, I kind of carried that energy into every meeting. And I might not have been successful as you were at it, but I at least tried.
Hey, man, I think point of view is everything, right? So, I think when you're in those types of rooms and you get asked to be in those rooms, it hopefully and should be for your point of view. So, that's how you kind of make sure your voice is heard in the room. So,
man, dropping jewels early. I like that. Yeah, it's funny, man. Like,
yeah, we not even a minute in.
Exactly, man. But honestly, like, you were one of the people I had in mind when I thought about the concept of this show and just like, just the idea of the BlkPrint. Like, I think you've had such a great career behind the scenes, and it's not something that's always highlighted. And, these are just the stories I want to tell. So, I mean, even from your start throwing shows to managing artists to now running your own label, I think that's just a story that needs to be, publicized and widely known. So, yeah, I'm just glad you're here, man. And let's get into it.
Yeah, for sure. No, I appreciate it. I've seen, obviously, Josh, we've worked together super closely in the past. So you got a, very super close magnified view of like what kind of goes into working with the types of artists that we work with and, developing an artist. And, at the core of it, really it's about artist development, when I think about what's kind of happened over the past, man, maybe I guess I'm going on like 11 years since I started throwing shows and now having I really call it the ecosystem more than the record label, right? Because we have our label, we have management, we have publishing with Concord, and all of it is in service of what artists that we think deserve to have a voice and to be developed and really speak to, just our taste, right? Like, I think a lot of times people don't really understand what something is until everyone else understands it. And, I've been fortunate enough to kind of double down on that and kind of make a career out of the things that I think need to kind of be highlighted, and not just me. I hope that there's a community and a culture around me that also thinks it needs to be highlighted. And then it's the process and the steps to take it from 0 to 20 to hopefully 60. And then when you're really fortunate, and a few times along the way, we've seen stuff go almost to 100. So, I think that's the stuff that really like turns the keys on for me and gets me excited, and why I still do it.
I love that. So yeah, tell us a little bit about the beginning. I know you got your start throwing shows in like the DC area. How'd you even get into that?
Yeah, man. So let's think all the way back. I mean, shit, it's you and this is your podcast, so I'll give the real secrets. Because it's Josh. Man, at one point in my life, I thought I could rap, and I thought I could be a rapper. And I was in high school, recorded with, this is 05, so right, 05, 04, 05. Yeah, I was in high school, and this is back when you would have to burn onto a CD and go to school and hustle mixtapes in Virginia, in the DC area. And that's really where my journey with music started, was, thinking that I could make make music. And I actually was talking to my friend that lives in LA still, actually, that we were in that rap group together 20 years ago. And we were talking about how even back then, although I was like the one that was in the group rapping, I was also the one that was like making the name for the like fake record label and like pulling everybody together and making sure we like, finished the records and finished the project and got the art done. And, he was reminding me that even back then, I was always the one that kept kind of the glue in this little like 3-4 person rap group we had in high school. And that's really where it like all started for me. Then reality kicked in, because you graduate high school and your parents are like, yo, that was cool in high school, but you're an adult now. Like go to college, go get a real job. Like, so like almost like cold turkey. I remember like my dad wanted me to see Ethiopia. My parents are both Ethiopian. So he wanted me to see Ethiopia for the first time and kind of did it as like a graduation present. So like the summer of 2005, I went to Ethiopia and spent like a whole month out there. And like, I went to all the different provinces and really saw the country. I didn't just stay in the capital. So it was like a super eye-opening trip for me that I still remember to this day. And I remember going into that trip thinking like, man, I know nobody believes it, but I'm going to somehow figure out how to do this music shit. Maybe it's me rapping, maybe it isn't, but it's probably me rapping. So at that point, I thought maybe I could still figure it out. And then I came back from that like super inspired, but then also being very realistic with myself of like, you know what, like making the music is probably not the path for me. Let me just do this college thing. I always kind of had the hustler mentality in my veins, and, kind of went into college with that, started like throwing parties and throwing shows in college. And, I think being the person that could tell you where the dopest party was between the 3 high schools in my area, that carried on into college. And then, I was just like, how do I turn this into dollars, right? Into money? I always had to kind of like take care of myself, outside of maybe somewhere to sleep.
Right.
So,
what was kind of the moment where because I think a lot of people, when they have to make that transition, is very hard, and they'll keep running their head into a wall. Like, I'm going to keep making it work. Like, what was kind of the moment where you were like, okay, I'm really, I really shouldn't be trying to create it. I should be trying to find another avenue to get in here.
Yeah, that's a good question, man. I think you get wake up calls. You get kind of moments where, you kind of have to follow your instinct and your gut. It's funny, it actually happened to me in 2 different times. So the first time, I think it was coming back from that trip, and thinking about it now, like just kind of like in hindsight, I think part of it might've been me wanting to make sure that I like made my parents proud, right? Coming back and seeing Ethiopia, seeing the country, seeing where I came from, really starting to understand certain things. And I was like, you know what? I want to be successful in what my parents probably view as success. And I just want to be successful in general. And I want to make them proud. So like being a rapper is not it, right? I think that might've been part of it. Mm-hmm. Then actually in high school, I kind of like in college. In college, I actually kind of picked it back up and started recording again and kind of made a little stint at trying it again. But that was where I kind of had, actually, I don't think I've ever told this story. So you know what, Josh, you're about to get all the exclusives.
Exclusives.
I got in trouble in college because I used to sell hella weed in college. And I got in trouble, and I remember being like, oh shit, I actually got like some shit on my record now. And I was like, taking business school, and growing up in DC, most people's jobs are either political driven or they're the Booz Allens of the world, the like government contracts, IT. That was like the way to like all the kids that were my age that were in college, like, cool, that's the fastest way to like get you to an $80,000 to $100,000 a year salary. And you can't do that shit with a record, right? So even though it wasn't like a big stain on my record, it was still enough. It was on there, right? So, and I was like, damn, what am I gonna do? And that drove me to like, it was weird. And like, I went from like 10 to 100 in like 6 months, where I was like, man, I got to really figure this out now. Like, if I apply to a lot of these places that I've been spending 3 years in college trying to finish my degree for, 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna get, I'm gonna get denied, right?
Right.
And I was already like starting to throw shows and things like that. So I said, okay, I gotta take this shit seriously. And I started doing like, man, I was interning at a studio, but then this is probably like 08, 09. So they came from the mixtape era, right? So they were like the DJ dramas of the DMV area. Like, they actually had a relationship with Drama, and they got caught up in that. Remember the big FBI scandal where they were like taking everybody? Remember that? So these guys in DC were called Target Squad. They were the like DC version of Atlanta, and even got caught up in that mix. And the young DJ who was like the face of it, his older brothers ran it, but they made their little brother the face of it. He was kind of like a drama in his own right in the DMV, hosting mixtapes. We went to the same community college. So I was building this relationship with him, and he was like, man, like, what's up with all this, like, these, like, that Piff and Facebook and MySpace, all this shit. Like, we used to we burn shit up and go to the barbershop and sell CDs for $5. They were trying to figure out how to transition their business to the internet. And I was kind of right there as a college kid who was studying IT and was up on computers, but was really into music. And I was like, fuck it. I just went all in on the opportunity, and I built a really cool relationship with them. And that's what plugged me into the DC nightclub scene, the DC music scene. I mean, through them, I met Glizzy and Fat Trell. And, when I was already throwing shows at George Mason, me and one of my homies, RIP, she passed a few years ago, we co-promoted 2 Chainz at Fur when Spend It was like starting to get hot. And that kind of was through those relationships, I somehow was like, kind of like, it started with being able to get these guys to be on the internet and basically be like their web, their computer person.
Right.
And then it like, but I was like on the ball of the type of artist they should be paying attention to. Like, I remember showing them Kid Cudi and J. Cole for the first time. And they were like, yo, what is this? But they had T-Pain at the studio like 3 weeks before that, right? So they were like really in the mainstream shit. And I was showing them, like when certain artists would come to DC, they would check in with them. So sometimes, like, I remember being around, it was T-Pain in like 08, 09, and I'm young, and I'm like, oh shit, this is a real artist, this is a real celebrity, right? And being around, they had Little Scrappy play a show in Virginia. Like, this is after like he cooled off, but they would always bring kind of like the Project Pats and the Little Scrappies around DC, and I think that like
even in like I went to school in VCU, so like it would always be Scrappy, Gotti, Jeezy. All the time.
All that shit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you went to VCU? Okay, so you know the culture out there.
Absolutely.
And same thing with so like there was kind of actually I remember, do you remember when Currency and Wiz did How Fly at VCU?
Absolutely. I was there.
So so I was at that show too. That's where I met Will, actually, who still manages Wiz to this day. So my boy promoted that show, and I did like all the content and everything for it, and it was just kind of in the mix on it. That's when I started throwing concerts. But I just like dove right into that mix, and my entry point was being like the college cool kid who had like the taste of all the shit they didn't know, but I could also keep them on the internet. Then I just kind of leverage and turn that into like, actually, I got some of my own money. I'll go half with you on this 2 Chainz show. I'll go half with you on this Wiz and Currency show. I'll go half with you on, whatever. And I started like inching my way in, because I could do the marketing online, and I could throw down, and I could bring the college kids. So they were like, fuck it, like, you're going to put us in a market that we're not in. And I kind of earned my keep that way.
And that was such a bubbling time for those artists too. Like, I could only imagine just how successful it was, because again, like, this is like that 09 era where it's like Wiz, Currency,
Pete Blogger.
The beginning of it, really.
Exactly.
Nah, definitely. Like, and that was my niche, right? That was my lane, right? And anything you're trying to find your lane. And doing Mac Miller's first DMV show literally 2 months after Kids dropped. And I booked it right before Kids dropped, or that How Fly concert, Big Crit, Currency, MGK, Big Sean, Finally Famous Volume 1. I did that show at Soundstage in Baltimore.
Shit.
There wasn't people that were really paying attention to these like quote unquote blog rappers. Like we were fucking with it, but like the 930 Club and the Live Nations of the world and IMPs of the world, they weren't really booking those shows yet. They were like, nah, we're still at that time. EDM was really taking off, right? Absolutely. And then rock and all that. So I was like, oh no, this is the shit. This is the shit that I know how to do. And I just like went head first into that scene, and very quickly became the promoter for the DC area for those types of shows. Right when that first Mac show did really, really well. Actually, I'll never forget Peter Schwartz, who still is an agent to this day, is who I bought that show from, and it like oversold. Mac took off at that point. RIP. He was just like he didn't know that show was going to be like that. I remember to this day. I talked to Q about this like the other day. Like Q, Quentin, Matt, and Tree J, and somebody else that was with them all came down in a green. All came down in a green Volvo from Pittsburgh, because like a 2.5, 3 hour drive to Virginia, right? So they just drove down, no tour boats, nothing. Walk up to the venue and say, "Cool, this is our first like real out of town show." I did a couple of New York things, but this is our first like real hard ticket show post Kids, and it was nuts. Like oversold. Kids were outside like selling tickets for $80, right? So it was kind of beginner's luck for me. Where that I mean, I've done stuff in the past, but that was my first like all me. I rented the venue out. I bought it from a real agency. It was like, all right, now you're a big boy promoter. You know what I'm saying? You just got a national tour or a national artist to come to town, and like it's really your show. And I basically launched my like concert production company off the back of that show, right? Right. And then that's when it steamrolled, because agents that were believing in that scene didn't have a lot of promoters to sell those shows to yet, and 930 wasn't booking, other places weren't. I just had a successful Mac show, and they're like, cool, we got this new guy like Henny that just did a few shows in a row that makes sense. And I was, so like, cool. So I found my lane, and then I was building off the back of that, man, for, that was probably 2010 to 2013. And in that process, I was like, all right, what's the next move here, right? Like, I'm having fun doing this. I'm making money and sometimes not making money, because being a promoter is like fucking gambling, right? You're like throwing dice at the wall.
Absolutely.
So, now I was making the shake. I was figuring it out, but I was like, all right, what's the next thing here? And remember, I used to rap, right? So like I still had like a mic and some equipment, and I knew like the local scene. And then now the local scene is like, yo, how do we open up for those shows that Henny is doing? And I'm like, all right, well, let me come up with a system to figure that part out. So I started doing these like local showcases where artists bought in and sold tickets, and they could even make a profit if they sold all their tickets. And I would have like DJ Money and Dre the Mayor and guys like that come in, host and judge the showcase in the same venue that I did the Mac show. So now I developed like almost like this local incubation system with a bunch of artists. And funny, IDK was in that showcase, and Drew, who's from the DMV, that's in that R&B group. When he used to rap, he was in that showcase. So like that started to bubble. And then now I'm like filling up a Tuesday night at the venue. So they're happy with me, because nothing was going on. This venue was like literally in the middle of a shopping center in Springfield, Virginia, but it was a good venue, just in a very random place. And that was building up this like network and this credibility with the local scene. Like, okay, cool, you're bringing in the rappers that we think are dope and cool, but still underground. But then you're giving us a platform to maybe open up for those artists, and be judged, but also have our fans come see us and perform in a real venue. Okay, cool. And then, well, all right, I got this studio because I have all this equipment. Let me open up like a small studio that's also like my office for the concert business. But then the back room was like a maybe 200 square foot studio. And it's funny, it was actually right below the Target Squad guys, which were the dudes that I was interning for a couple of years before that kind of that taught me some rope. So like, it's almost like I was a kid that came and showed them how to get on the internet. And then 3 years later, I had the spot under them for my own shit, right? So they were like, damn, okay, cool. We're going to keep showing you love and you're hustling. And I just started having all those artists come to the studio because they were like, oh, well, if I record with Henny, I could probably open up for those artists he keeps bringing on and shit, maybe he'll even manage me. And I kind of developed this system, this like rotating door of local artists through the studio, through the concert company. And really, through that, at first, I didn't really, I think I knew I wanted to manage, right? Like, I definitely think I was like, all right, what's the end goal here? Like continuing to grow this like promotion company. And at that time, Sasha, who owns Score More, was just starting to bubble, or Tariq, who owns Rolling Loud, had his shit called Dope ENT. And I remember seeing us get the same tour dates. So you would see like a Logic tour go up, and I would have the Virginia and Baltimore date. They would have Texas, and they would have Florida. So I was starting to like kind of really be in the mix. You go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm glad you brought those guys up because I was just thinking about the promoters for that college era, blog era of rap, and it was you guys, it was Dope ENT like you mentioned, Sasha was Score More, and then like Dom on the West Coast who used to do who I think he still works for AEG, I believe.
Golden Voice.
Yeah, Golden Voice.
Yeah, Dom's the homie. Yeah, he manages Joe K and shit too. Yeah. So like, so that was that. And, in hindsight, I remember thinking to myself, like, there was definitely a version of that could have scaled. But I think ultimately having that taste to be able to discover artists early and be up on the right things, like being a promoter, it builds, and being a hard ticket promoter, it builds a really good like gut and ear because, press is not going to sell a show out. Looks aren't going to sell a show out. Only good music sells a show out. So you have to bump your head a few times and take bets on these things that agents are trying to sell you, stuff that got some views on YouTube. Back then, niggas was buying hella views on YouTube. You didn't even know it was real. So like you had to, you know what I'm saying? So you start to like, no, this needs to actually sell out for me to even make a little bit of profit. So I think it developed like a taste level, right? You had your natural taste level, but it was almost like I was exercising my taste level in real time because I was betting my own money to figure it out, right? And you start to really see audience and what people care about, what they don't care about, what sells, what doesn't. And I think that developed my A&R skill really, right? And then also I make music. I made music at some point in my life, so I was very like into that process. And that's hence why I had the studio there too. So now I'm seeing all these local artists come through and play me their mixtape and, what's this, what's that? And like, you don't really know that it's happening when it's happening, but when you can look back, hindsight's always 20/20. You're like, oh, that was actually my development. That's where I was like really getting my chops, and I was in the trenches. That's when I was learning what's what, and which is super important, and I think like in that process, started to find artists that maybe I would want to manage this artist, right? Like I remember, my first artist was GoldLink, and he was in this like program that somebody started to come by and use my studio because he was like a friend of mine through a friend. And he was like, man, there's this program in Toronto that 40 was invested in and Drake co-signed. I think it was called the Remix Project or something, where they were like having kids do film and photography and work in the studio and get to maybe work with 40 and shit like that. And he was like trying to emulate that in the DMV. Like, let me use your studio. And I was like, all right, cool. Brings this group of kids by, even I forgot what their name was. They even had like a rap group. And then GoldLink was one of them in the group. And then once that program was done, they were all kind of mediocre. And he was like the one that had like, it was super raw, but he just had like a tone that cut through and had just certain things about him where I was like, and even like his ear for beats and all that. And then the engineer at the studio, crazy, I still work with to this day, Louis Lastic, was also a producer, and he was like, "Oh, I'm working on electronic music. I grew up on funk music and bass, and I love boom bap shit." So he starts making this really just funky, different. And imagine this is kind of like peak EDM almost, right? When EDM kind of peaked. So he was like really playing with all these sounds, and that's really where that first mixtape happened, where we were kind of like bending electronic music and hip hop, and we thought it was dope. Then quietly you see K-Tronada and Sango and Selection, all these things starting to bubble on SoundCloud around the same time, like very, very early though. And I think just being in that moment, something clicked, and I was like, hey, we got to connect all these dots. There's a bunch of dots to be connected here. And actually, I just remember this. I had one of my last shows as a promoter wasn't really about making money on the show, but it was like about trying to get a platform for the artists I was working with. So I booked K Tronada's first DC show, right? And I had him at Flash, and it was a 200 cap room on a Wednesday, sold out. This is like right when I think that K Tronada record at all probably just got kind of hot on the internet, but so it's still really early. And that's the first time K Tronada and GoldLink ever met. I brought him to the show. I was like, yo, we fuck with your sound. I mean, I'm the promoter, so it's like my show. So I get to really kick it with him. And that's when that connection actually got made. That actually put, and around that same time, it was a very early Kali Uchis, who a lot of people don't know. She's from Alexandria.
So before we get into the Kali Uchis, because I like this transition from going from the show, like promoting your one of your final shows to this management thing. So like before we play that, or before we get into that, I want to play a song and then we're gonna come back. Because I really do want to get into that. I feel like your studio was like a hub for a lot of DMV artists that came out of there. Like the Kali Uchis first tape was recorded there, I remember.
Yeah, for sure.
GoldLink. Even, Masego and Tadao record, even though it wasn't done there, I think though they were byproducts of that studio. So I definitely want to get into that story. But let's get into some records. Let's play, what are we playing next, J5?
Shit, we're gonna play some Party Next Door real quick.
All right, let's
some relax with me. Let's go. We took the walk to Poland, the biggest 1 minute song in the world. BlkPrint Radio, J5 here with Josh Pease, Perry P, MC here. Henny is here. Of course, he was telling us some crazy stories about his come up really in DC. Super insightful shit.
Yeah, no, I mean, I love the transition of your career from like rapper to promoter, studio owner to manager. I wanted to talk a little bit about the studio and just like the different artists you had come through there. Of course, you mentioned GoldLink earlier. You had a little touched on Kali Uchis a little bit. Who else has been through your spot when you had it?
Yeah, man. It's funny. We had this wall, and I actually want to get it back. We had this the studio door. We made everybody sign it, and my old homie that was a DJ for all the shows back then, he posted it recently, so I didn't get that back. But man, what Glizzy been by there, Trell. I didn't necessarily record there frequently, but they've been by there for certain stuff. Callie made her first EP for Vita there. IDK, and then a bunch of local artists that, I don't think anyone would probably know their names, but
you never know. You never know. People probably know. You never know.
Yeah. Who I think came out once? What's homies from Virginia Beach, man? Their name came up, Divine Council.
Oh, remember wow. Them? Yeah. They're dope.
Yeah,
they're dope.
They're fire. Yeah, they came by there once. It is sometimes what I would try to do is have the artists that I book come by, so they see like, oh, there's like a scene happening here, and this is like a thing. And I think I had like not the coolest rappers, but I had people like Chris Webby and artists like that come by. Little B didn't come by. I did these crazy Little B shows that were nuts, and maybe he came by for a second, but Riff. Oh, who was the weirdest motherfucker that I had by there? Riff Raff.
Oh shit.
Riff Raff. Yeah, that was. But yeah, I think Go ahead.
I was gonna ask you. Tell us about some of the artists who came through that you ended up managing.
Really, just I was really selective. I actually only ended up picking up GoldLink and Kali as clients early on. That was it. And producers, sometimes a producer here or there. That was it. So, as stuff was taking off, Kali did Tour Vita there. And yeah, I was managing her for about 2 years. And we even did her first record deal while I was working with her, which she's actually still in now. Obviously, she's on Interscope. And that was like shortly after GoldLink did his RCA deal. So, that transition kind of happened. And she was great. Like, man, we're still cool to this day. It was all love. And I definitely learned the personalities and working with a female artist and the requirements of that and what comes along with that. That was definitely a learning curve for me in that process.
Yeah.
But I think, but
No, I was gonna say that's a great point because I kind of tell people all the time, managing a female artist is way harder than managing a male artist. I think, and it doesn't.
yeah, it's
Yeah, it's just so
totally
much that
different.
comes with it. Like even just for any type of visual appearance, is makeup and glam and styling, and like that's just something you don't have to think about so often with a male artist. So that's a really interesting take and just something to think about. But I did want to kind of get into just some of the behind the scenes stuff of managing. Like, what do you think are some of the challenges of building like a strong management team? Because that's one thing I kind of pride EQT on is just like a good team around the artist.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. I mean, I don't know exactly what it was, but I always had an inclination towards team, and towards building around something. I mean, Kaz, who's been with EQT from day one and really helps run the company with me and my partner Dan now. He's been with us for 8 years, and he actually was essentially like an intern and was doing day-to-day on Cali, helping out with Goldlink stuff, doing different things like that. He's really developed over time with the company. But I always sort of would just kind of like look to and idolize scaled management companies. Like I remember when EDM was booming and when I was throwing concerts, I actually dipped my toes into that too and did some co-pros with some companies in Baltimore, Virginia Beach. So I'll do some hip hop, some EDM, and you see teamwork in Blood Company and you would pull their roster up, right? So I'm sitting in Virginia, 2012, 2013, still kind of like starting to finish, on the tail end of being a concert promoter. And I want to know who manages these artists, right? And I was doing that research from DC, not having necessarily the experience of dealing with a lot of these companies. And I always loved rosters, right? I always loved like that there's something happening here that's being able to create an ecosystem where there's got to be some level of organization. How does that work? That stuff always got me excited, to be honest, So it's really crazy, you say like manifestation and all that kind of stuff, but it's a company that's been a part of the journey, I would say, for EQT and scaling, the company called M Theory. And Josh, I know you're familiar. And they were a part of Teamwork and Blood Company scaling. So for me to end up getting a hold of them as like someone who was like, yeah, I kind of want to be in management. I got one artist that's starting to bubble, and having this partnership with them that's lasted 5 or 6 years. And they were a big piece of how Skrillex scaled and Blood Company scaled via Skrillex, and how Teamwork scaled via Diplo and the Mad Decent ecosystem. And they saw all that and were a part of helping build that, so that the guys who were on the front line could really focus on the artist and the business around the artist and the product that they were creating. And they were there to kind of like help them figure out how to lift things up and how process should go and how org should work. So, I think that's always been something that I've been excited about. And, I think like one thing, and whoever wants to record this, I hope this is a gem, but running the company and then developing the artist and the sort of secret sauce that comes with like developing and creating and being like on point with the artist, those are really two different things. Right. And I would say in hindsight, I definitely would have put sort of more infrastructure in two different buckets for each area. We're doing that now, and I've learned a lot since then. But I think that's something that people got to remember, that, if you know how to develop artists from a creative lens and you have the relationships to do that, but you're like intrigued on like, how do I scale and build an organization around that? Be very mindful of trying to do those things at the same time, right? Or thinking that you can do that, both things at the same time.
And we do have a lot of people that like might want to, or are aspiring managers and want to do what you do. What would you say are 3 things that managers need to know about being in management?
Man, and they need to know. 3 is like too little. I was about to say artists are crazy, but no, that's not. I'm not gonna say that.
They should know that coming into it.
Yeah, right. I won't come in too hot. One, realize that you are sort of you are building a business with the artist, right? So like, I think a lot of people go into management, which is totally fine. It's more this like homie friend relationship, right? Like the friendager, the homie manager, whatever you want to call it. But really being able to realize like, yeah, I have this relationship with the artist, but I'm here to really build their business. And ultimately, as a manager, I have to understand and have this like snapshot of the business, but from a creative point of view, right? Let's see. 2, man, learn how touring works. You know, I think some managers maybe come in because they have like a great ear, or they're friends with the manager. Friends with the artist. They have a certain perspective to be in the room, and they got the relationship, you know, but especially being like a very traditional manager, like that part of the business, like if you're trying to build a career, touring is everything. So if you need to go and sit with a promoter or sit with an agent and really pick their brain and really pay attention and you know, figure out like how that business really works, I think that's super important. It's something that you'll pick up along the way. Let's see, 3. Man, who gets the third slot?
I feel like there's like 100 things they need to know. You got to whittle it down to 3. I feel like it's unfair.
Yeah, it's hard. Yeah, I know. The relationship is everything. You know, you're building this relationship with the artist, and you have to kind of psychoanalyze and understand what they care about and what their goals are, and make sure that those goals align with your goals. Maybe this is kind of 2 things, but make sure that their goals align with your goals, so y'all are going down the same path, right? Because, you know, I think I was fortunate I was fortunate and unfortunate in some ways that my first artist, I had to kind of drag him along to get him to where he was. He wasn't always like the most motivated, but at least it was something that got to a certain place, and we were able to take it to a certain height. And then off the back of that spun into different things, and, you know, really understanding what the goals of the artist are, you know.
And again, in building a successful management company and a successful record label like EQT, how did that come together? Like, it feels like you kind of, like you said, you went from 10 to 100 very quickly, and now you have EQT. How did you create it? Like, you know, what were some of the things that went into creating something as massive as that?
Man, you know, I think that's dope that you think it's massive. To me, it's always still this like super tiny thing, but it's you know, I just really having a strong vision and doing whatever is needed to get there, and then also pacing it out and being like pretty resilient. You know, it is, you know, when I sit and think about it, that we've actually really only been a company for just about 8 years, and we've only been a label for almost 5, right? And I think about all the stuff that we touched as EQT, right? Even early Metro Boomin stuff, Goldman, Cali, Smino, Masego, JPEG. It is kind of like, man, that was a lot, but everything compounds, right? Like, not to make it, and you think when you think of stocks and money, you think of compounds, but like, relationships, efficiency, energy, everything compounds. And when you're really doing things the right way, or at least as right as you possibly can, and you're trying to make the right decisions, and you're able to recognize when you're in moments, things can escalate pretty quickly. You know what I mean? I remember actually my partner Dan said this, and it stuck with me like 5 or 6 years ago, where you have to be, the people who really win are self-aware and know how to recognize that they're in a moment, right? Sometimes people can be in a moment, but you got to recognize you're in that moment, right? Mm-hmm. And that's really, really fucking hard. And I remember when, Savage Mode went crazy and Metro was on top of the world, and the #1 producer crew was going nuts, and it was a #1 song on urban radio 2 weeks in a row. And that just happened to be right around when we started to decide that, you know what, maybe now it's time to really start being equity partners with our artists and start a label. And the next gen of artists that were starting to bubble that we were picking up would be signed to the label, and we were taking meetings. And I think in hindsight, what if we didn't want to make that leap? What if we didn't recognize what was happening around us in that moment? The whole story would be different, right?
Yeah, that's a great point.
And it was really being able to recognize when triggers are happening, when things are happening, and be disciplined enough to go build around that, you know.
And then you have a team with someone like Josh on it, you know, and he, you know, does a bunch of shit on there too.
Yeah, no, it's funny. I think about how we even met. It was around the Crew time. I think it might have been right before Crew starts to really like bubble crazy. But I was over at EQT, or not EQT, I'm sorry. I was at Kashmir, and we were looking to book artists for this Under Armour campaign, and literally all the we were looking to book artists and creators. Half of the artists and creators we reached out to just happened to be managed by EQT, and I had no idea who EQT was. We reached out to.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, we had reached out to GoldLink. We had reached out to Metro, and then Michi. And then I was speaking to Ramya about all these conversations, and I was like, what? Like, Ramya, I just met Ramya, and she's like, oh yeah, I work for EQT. And I'm like, huh? Like, what is this company? And then, I kind of peeled the layer back, and I was like, oh shit, this is actually like, you guys were just in a, like you said, you guys you were in a dope moment. And I just think the artists you guys were working with was just so curated to what I think currently music is, but like music wasn't at this point at that time. I think now we're at this point where it's like, I like to call it like the black pollen. Like if you look at the pollen playlist, and shout out to Spotify, but we're on Amazon right now. But I just think there's a certain kind of artist. Nah, it just is what it is. I mean, I think you got to recognize the what's going on in culture in the moment. But I think you guys label kind of embodied that a little bit. And yeah, it was just interesting, man. I was like, oh shit. So like I just kind of did my due diligence, and then I met up with Dan, and I think he introduced me to you, and then now we're here. But yeah, I just thought that you guys just had like such a dope thing going on, and it was just crazy how I kind of found out about it just happenstance. I want to get into Crew, because that's a pivotal record in time. I feel like 50 years from now you're gonna be hearing that at the barbecue. Yeah, like that's absolutely a barbecue song. Like I think if people ask me right now, like what's your like your song when you're 60 years old, that you're gonna be like, oh yeah, I remember when I was in my 30s and 20s, it'll probably be Crew.
Yeah.
Let's
play it.
Yeah, let's get into that, and then I want to hear about the story of the making of that record. So we'll talk about that after.
Yeah, we'll be right back on BlkPrint Radio. I will never forget when GoldLink performed Crew DC and Glizzy stepped out and the crowd went fucking crazy.
Yeah, I remember. I don't know if I think I seen that online. Yeah.
It was one of the ones. It was one of the ones that was like, okay, this song's gonna be something. This song's gonna be crazy. BlkPrint Radio, we're back. J5, Josh Pease, MC.
Yeah, man. And we're here with my guy Henny, man. Dude, Crew. Like, how does it feel to be a part of that record? Was it like diamond by now?
You know what? I'm still waiting on my plaque. It's actually 5. It's 5X.
Wow. 5 times platinum.
I got my 3.
That's crazy. Like that doesn't happen often for. First of all, I wouldn't call that a regional record, but that's a very DMV record, like with Shy and Brent and GoldLink. So like that doesn't happen very much for a record like that. And then I just feel like more than a lot of these, 5-time platinum records, that just felt organic. Like that just is a really feel good song, and it just kind of just popped up and bubbled, and it didn't feel like there was a lot of like gaming of that. Like it just was good music that just responded well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even how long it took to get to that kind of like peak sort of mass consumption. You know what I mean? It came out at the end of 2016. We felt it getting hot probably in January, February. Shot the video. Still didn't know that it could do that. And then I remember when the first Shazams came back, because we started it off out at DC Radio, right? We could do our own relationships. We didn't have to go do RCA. And they started playing it, and it was like off the Richter on Shazam. Like it was like number 1 on Shazam within like a week of the radio playing it in the market. And then that kind of like, oh shit, I think we got something. And then it bubbled that summer, turned into like the culture hit of the summer of 2017, right? Absolutely. If you're cool, you knew that record. Still didn't go all the way. And then radio really kicked in towards the end of the summer. Going into that DC show, actually, that you just referenced, right into that was when it was I think it was number 1 on urban radio a couple of weeks before that show. So really turned into this like thing.
It was out of there. Yeah, it was out of there. Yeah. It was one of those moments I was like, I wish I was back home to see that, because just for both those artists, super, very much at that point of the city, especially Glizzy. Like I remember listening to him, Money Problems back in the day when I was in college. I got Money Problems. It was like that was the shit. Just to see him, you know what I'm saying, in that space, it was amazing to see, and it felt really good.
Yeah, and that record was a departure for him too, but it fit. Everything fit perfectly. Like you rarely ever hear records like that. And I remember talking to him after the record came out, and I was like, man, like I was like, you need to get one of them Brent Flyers hooks for yourself. He was like, ha. He's like, man, that kid won $250,000 for a hook. I was like, hey man, that's what happens when you deliver something that good.
5 times plat.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, it's so crazy in hindsight because you got to think about it too. Those were 3 non-mainstream artists.
Exactly.
Right? Mm-hmm. Like Brent was brand new. Goldlink was bubbling in the underground, but definitely didn't come close to breaking yet. And Shy had moments. He had awesome, but he still was kind of like he cooled off a bit, right? Mm-hmm. So it was such an interesting story for just the relevance of DC, man. It's nothing like it, man. Even like when I think about what that record means, having 3 guys from the DMV, you know, where everyone's careers kind of panned out, but what everyone kind of means to that scene, and for how potent that song was, for a song like that to be like 5 times platinum, like it's crazy. Like, it's kind of if like something happens to me and I stop doing this shit tomorrow, to know that I helped give the DMV a record that important, that's kind of like what it's all about, you know? And to think that it's that, you know, it's funny. We've had some like funny references to what that song like is. That it's almost what's the Camplo song that's just like legendary.
Lucchini.
Yeah, Lucchini.
Yeah. Yep. So Lucchini, that was a reference point that me and Tunji used to always have. Or that's
actually more true than like. I mean, I don't know if it was facetious, but that's more true than you think. Like it really is a song that like no one would have thought had reached that level of ubiquity, and it's there.
It's there, yep, and it bubbled very organically, very culturally. It checks all those boxes of being like hella cool, but still having a really strong hook, but still very commercially successful. You know, number 1 on urban radio and 5 times platinum. You don't get that a lot without having like a massive, and then it didn't have a big artist on it. Yeah. So it makes it kind of even more special. It really was about the moment in time and what the record did for people. So that was exciting. I mean, you know, that was definitely didn't think it was going to do that. You know, I had Brent and Goldlink. I was up on Brent from very early on, and built a relationship with Ty just because I'm a fan of Brent. Ty's the homie. And I was like, we gotta get them together. Like Goldlink's like bubbling in the city. You know, Brent's very early, but his voice is crazy. But if you're up on it, people were starting to like buzz about him. And they actually both were signed to Pulse as well for publishing. So I was like, we gotta make it happen. So we put them in the Pulse studio in LA. They made 2 demos that night. That was one of them. The other one was pretty good, but nothing never got finished. It wasn't anything but Crew was one of them. If you guys know the producer Teddy Walton, who went on to go
Kendrick,
crazy after that record.
Yeah.
Kendrick, Bryson. He just got a few Bryson placements, and Trap Soul went crazy. I think he had one on there. And there's actually a funny story. We couldn't find, so Tunji sent over a folder from Teddy Walton. Then we're like, Brent and Goldlink are in the studio. Let's just feed them some folders. That was in that folder. Cut it. Then he couldn't find the files. Oh, shit. So we were like, nah. We were like, bro, you got to find the files to this beat. Like, we knew the song was special, but we didn't know it was going to be that. But it's definitely on the album, right? It's got to be on the album. We're making an album at that time. And I remember FaceTiming Teddy, and he was in Memphis in his mom's kitchen with his laptop open on Fruity Loops, trying to convince me. So he didn't even do like a pub deal yet. Like, he still lived at his mom's crib. And he was like, yo, like, I can figure it out. I'm going to remake it. I got some ideas. Every remake came back. No, actually, hold on. I remember what happened. It wasn't that he couldn't find the files. The artist he was developing did a song
to the beat.
On that beat.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
I hate that.
He didn't want to get the beat up. So he was like, nah, I'll work on it. But he also didn't want to lose the placement. And then finally we got it. You know, we got it back, and he had to tweak some stuff. And we're like, all right, cool. And how Shy happened was I remember, so Shy and GoldLink were freshmen. They were XXL freshmen at the same time, but they still had no records together, right?
Oh,
but
shit.
he makes very different music than Shy. But this was the first demo where I was like, this kind of needs like a street rapper. And he was like, yeah, but like who? Because he only had relationships like that, like Trell or this. Yo, you should put Shy on this. Y'all just wrote freshman XXL. We've been looking for that moment to connect the dots on y'all two. All right, cool. Let's see what I see. I hit my man Benny, worked with Shy for years. Shy loved it. Shy always had a great year. Mm-hmm. Shy loved it. Sent it back in like a week or two. And I was like, oh shit, we got a Shy Glizzy verse. And we were all like, oh shit, no, it's fire. And the rest of the album sounded so different than that song because that wasn't really his sound, right? But we were like, but actually it's funny, Kaz and him and some people that are in their circle in DC that are like a little bit younger than me, of course, they were like, man, yo, this is like really fire. And I remember that I've never seen the energy. I always thought it was dope, but they were like, yo, this is actually super fire. And I was like, fuck it, let's put it out. And we threw that record out in December of 2016. Like the label didn't even care. They're like, yeah, whatever. What a shot doesn't mean that much anymore. This Brent kid is like super new. Like, cool. If y'all really fuck with it, put it out. And then by the time we came back from Christmas break in January, niggas was like, hold on, this shit is kind of bubbling. Like 5 people hit like Derek, who's still one of my best friends to this day. He's still at RCA. Over Christmas breaks, like homies were hitting about it. Like not music industry people, just like niggas he knew were like, yo, that record's crazy. And then everyone was like, I think we got something here. And then that's when things started to pick up early 2017.
Man, that's an amazing story, man. And that's really the genesis of a real hit record. Like it's crazy. Like even just the story of almost losing the beat to an up and coming artist that no one probably remembers now and getting Shy on there. Just all them artists being at that point in their career. Even you mentioned the freshman cover. I just went back and looked at that cover. Like, I feel like the last artist still standing from that cover is like probably like Vince Staples at this point. But
yeah, that was notoriously not one of the best covers ever.
Yeah, it was like Kid and OG Mako.
Kid up there 10 years later. Shit's crazy. But we're up at our hour. I feel like we could talk to you for forever, Henny, for sure. But thank you so much for your insight and your stories today, bro.
Yeah, for sure, man. Damn, I feel like we didn't even get to like all the new shit going on.
Yeah. Well, what do you got coming up before we get out of here? Let's
get into the new shit. Cause I think even man. I would hate to call it the part 2 of EQT, but you got Masego, you got Smino. Like, tell us a little bit about just what you got going on the label side and the publishing side.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we had a pretty big like year or two with Masego, with the record with Don Tolliver and the Grammy nomination and everything going on with him. So it's been awesome to see him develop over the past 4 years. And he was the first artist signed to the label too. So it was a big milestone for Tadao and Mystery Lady and his growth and all that stuff. And then Smee, who's, just came out hot with this record with J. Cole called 90 Proof. And we just put a tour on sale with Jid. So super excited. I mean, this album is incredible, the one that we're about to put out on him and seeing where he's about to go to that next step. And then our development artists that are really exciting, like Mindy. Rihanna's coming back with another record that he just finished. It sounds great, an album. So yeah, it's just some, it's exciting things happening all around. And yeah, on the publisher side, we've been just really focused on producers and songwriters. So like dudes that write and work and produce at our studio in our world. It's just a place for us to continue to develop them. Like we do our artists, but in a different way, right?
Right.
So that's really what the publishing arm was kind of started for, less to like necessarily sign a whole bunch of artists to it, but more to kind of world build and be in partnership with the producers and songwriters that are making the stuff that lives in our world, right? So and that's kind of what that's for. So it's been cool, man. It's been cool seeing the ecosystem grow and bubble to what it is now, and just excited for what's next.
Absolutely, and thank you so much for being on the show. Shout out to EQT, everybody over there. They work super hard. I know when Josh was over there, he was like, yo, we're doing some big shit. And you guys still are doing big shit today.
Man, y'all, matter of fact, shout out to, he just signed his deal recently, Skywater. That's one of my favorite artists right now. Like, I'm just glad you guys are involved.
Oh, you did bring him up a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, like a couple weeks ago.
We just started managing him. Yep, yeah.
Yeah, you guys just did the deal over at, was it Geffen?
Yeah, Geffen, yeah.
Yeah, man. Shout out to the team at Geffen. Shout out to Dash. I'm looking forward to that, man. Skywater is one of my freshmen, at least.
Absolutely. And so we come to the end. Of course, Josh and I and MC are going to be doing a new episode of the BlkPrint. Josh, what are we talking about? I don't know. I never know what we're talking about.
Oh, this week? I don't know, man.
We gotta talk about you watching James Bond movies for one.
Yeah, we can talk about James Bond. Maybe we touch on Kanye.
Oh God. Hey, listen. If you know Josh, then you already know.
Pray for Jesus, man.
God, please, no,
sir.
Please, God, no.
We are not
Please,
praying for that
please.
nigga. Thank you, Henny. Thank you so much for saying that. Thank you, Henny. We might need to have you back on. I need some support from this nigga Josh. He's a terrorist. Anyway, we'll see you guys next week on the BlkPrint. Thank you for listening to BlkPrint Radio. I believe we're gonna actually have a new Blacklist episode at the end of the month. We're gonna be playing some music for you guys, and that's gonna be really, really fun. So thank you guys for listening. We're gonna play you guys out with one of my favorite songs, "Love You Better" by Future. Of course, album of the year. Go. See you guys later on BlkPrint Radio.